Chapter 61 Confrontation. The leader was the tall and lanky elder among the two elders of the Zhang family. From a distance, Ye Xiwen clearly saw a smug smile on the other's face, but when he saw the scene in the blood primitive realm, his face suddenly changed, darkened. How can this happen, my Zhang family? The tall and thin elder flew down and said. At this time, he saw the disciples of the One Yuan sect who were standing. He didn't understand what was going on, and immediately roared angrily, "You little bastards, you actually killed everyone in our Zhang family." The terrifying aura of the tall and thin elder instantly dissipated and spread into the entire sky, firmly locking the disciples of the One Yuan sect below. All right, you disciples of the One Yuan sect, you are simply mad. Behind the tall and thin elder, the short elder also got angry and shouted. I want you all to die and be buried with them. The lanky elder roared. Bastards, you two old bastards, you dare to do something to our One Yuan sect. Immediately afterwards, there was an old angry shout. It was the middle fat elder of the two fat and thin elders. He was full of anger and had a murderous look on his face. The appearance rushed down. What do you two old bastards want to do to our One Yuan sect? The thin elder also rushed down and said. They killed our Zhang family. I want to kill them to avenge our Zhang family's disciples. The tall and thin elder said bitterly. Fuck you. The skinny elder scolded. Xuanhuan, Ping, you two bastards, dare to touch our Yuan sect people to try. The tall and thin elder Xuanhuan roared. I don't care, I want them to die. Go away. The fat elder let out a low voice, came to Ye Feng, Ye Xiwen and others, and asked, what the hell is going on? The fat elder did not expect that it would end up like this. Although it was said that casualties in the core competition were inevitable, the Zhang family was actually wiped out, which surprised him. Overall, the Zhang family was compared with the disciples of this generation of Yuanzong. Their strength is similar and relatively balanced. It is almost impossible for one party to destroy the other party. It's not the bastards of the Zhang family. The disciples of the One Yuan sect talked about everything, and the fat elder's face suddenly became ashen. The other three elders also heard it, and their faces suddenly became weird. Have you heard? This matter is your Zhang family's problem. We deliberately let a congenital expert come in. What are you trying to do? The thin elder scolded. To even dare to let innate masters in privately, and to try to ambush our disciples of the One Yuan sect and take away the blood primordial fruit, is really an unforgivable sin, and if you die, you will die in vain. Speaking of this, the thin elder also has lingering fears. If they succeed, it is not Xuanhuan and Ping who are angry here, but the two of them. You will definitely regret it. Xuanhuan gritted his teeth. You will all pay the price. HMPH, regret. It's you who should regret this time. This matter is not over. We will go to your Zhang family to settle the account. The fat elder said with a sneer. Immediately, Xuanhuan and Ping, the two elders, were aggrieved for a while. Now they have suffered heavy losses. This is your one-sided word. If there are congenital masters who have sneaked in, it should be you who are all dead now. Ping quibble, let me try it. As soon as the voice fell, Ping's hand spread out instantly, and the surrounding spiritual energy quickly gathered, condensed into a huge palm, and patted Ye Xiwen instantly. Ping's eyes flickered with murderous aura, and he wanted to kill Ye Xiwen here. You dare! The two fat and thin elders shouted immediately. The big hand spread out in an instant and shot over. Ye Xiwen suddenly shouted, chop! The long knife behind Ye Xiwen was unsheathed instantly. The dazzling knife light instantly covered the air, turning into a light knife and slashing towards Ping. Boom! The light knife and the gasification hand collided fiercely in midair, and together they turned into starlight. Ping screamed suddenly and held the hand. A huge bloodstain was torn open on his hand, and the blood gushed like a spring. In the fight just now, he was accidentally injured by the blade of the light knife, and his eyes were fixed on Ye Xiwen, full of inconceivable. How could he clearly feel that Ye Xiwen should only be an acquired realm martial artist, but the attack he sent out could hurt the innate level master of him. The sword chi just now clearly contained the innate chi. How could the acquired junchi hurt the innate expert like him? But he was clearly just an acquired martial artist. Seeing that Ye Xiwen was not only fine but also took advantage of Zhang Ping's carelessness to make him suffer a loss, the thin elder immediately laughed and said, "Zhang Ping, you are so old, you are so shameless to actually attack our juniors of the One Yuan sect." Zhang Ping glanced at Ye Xiwen angrily, knowing that he could not attack any more. The two elders, fat and thin, had already taken precautions. If they attacked again, they would face a thunderous attack from them. Although they were of equal strength, Ye Xiwen was the one who could not see it. There are people who are clear and deep, and I am afraid that at that time they will still suffer. After this mess, the four elders finally no longer doubted that Ye Xiwen could kill a congenital master. At first, they thought, how could this be possible? How could a congenital master die under Ye Xiwen's hands? But Ye Xiwen was caught off guard by Zhang Ping. It can make them suffer, not to mention the innate master who has just stepped into the innate. At this time, Zhang Quan opened his mouth, gritted his teeth and said, "Since this Ye Xiwen was the one who killed Lu Ji, we won't say anything else. As long as you hand over Ye Xiwen, we won't hold anyone else accountable, so what? Go away." The fat elder sneered directly, "This time, you violated the rules first. If you die, you will die in vain. You want us to hand over the disciples of the One Yuan sect. It's really delusional. After we go out, we will still find you Zhang family. Do the math. This time you have to hand over Ye Xiwen, otherwise it's not just our Zhang family that has to settle accounts with you. Lu Ji is a disciple of one of our great elders in Tianfengtang." Zhang Quan said timidly. "Didn't you hear what I said? Since you have entered the blood origin realm, you will die in vain. You even dare to plot the blood origin fruit. You are really courting death," said the fat elder. At this time, there was another wave of fluctuations in the void of the blood origin realm. The first update arrives. Ask for tickets, ask for collection. Chapter 62 Rewards. As the void fluctuated, a person walked from the sky, and everyone looked closely, and it was actually the sect master of the One Yuan sect, Lin Zontian. Lin Zontian walked down from the sky step by step, walked in front of Zhang Ping and Zhang Quan and said, "I took it back and told your owner that this is not over, and I will come to the door in a few days." Lin Zontian was a tough mess as soon as he opened his mouth. If the Zhang family didn't come up with a charter, he was satisfied with the compensation, and the matter was over. As for letting the Zhang family take Ye Xiwen away, don't even think about it. What a joke. Zhang Ping and Zhang Quan were blushing with anger, but they couldn't do anything about it. They didn't take care of it. More importantly, they couldn't beat Lin Zontian. Lin Zontian's cultivation was unfathomable. No one knew, at least not what they knew and could detect. Seeing the appearance of Lin Zontian, the disciples of the One Yuan sect breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Zontian was here, and they were completely relieved. Even if the two elders of the Zhang family suddenly went crazy, there was nothing to fear. Everyone has extraordinary confidence in Lin Zontian, even Ye Xiwen. After Lin Zontian arrived, his originally tense body finally relaxed a little. Lin Zontian's reputation as the #1 expert in the Qingfeng mountain area has not been shaken for many years. It seems that many years ago, when he came here from the main sect of the Yuan dynasty, the Zhang family head of that generation once found a reason to fight with Lin Zontian, but Lin Zontian repaired it badly. Although the two parties involved kept the matter secret, it was not a secret in the One Yuan sect. After all, it was such a glorious matter that outside disciples and others might not know much about it. However, the people here are all core disciples, so naturally they are not the same. Lin Zontian claims to be the strongest generation of the One Yuan sect master in history. No one knows how strong he is. When he first came to Qingfeng Mountain many years ago, he repaired the Zhang family horribly. Moreover, that was for many years. What happened in the past, and how far it has progressed now, no one knows. Although Ye Xiwen didn't know where the bottom line of Lin Zontian's strength was, he knew that his strength had already reached a terrifying level just by seeing him striding in the air. Even a congenital expert can't do a volley, let alone so easily. Flying, that is something that can only be done by the strong in the realm above the innate. After Lin Zontian finished speaking, he didn't care about Zhang Ping and Zhang Quan at all. He walked down directly, walked to Ye Xiwen's side, and said with a smile on his face, you did a good job this time, and you didn't embarrass your father." After speaking, Lin Zontian took the people from the One Yuan sect and left the Blood Origin realm and returned to the main hall of the One Yuan sect. Lin Zontian looked at the disciples in the One Yuan sect and said, "I have already learned about this matter." Yes, because the incident was very sudden, but this time the score is not invalid, it is still scored normally. The top 3 can get a reward of a blood essence fruit and a Shantian pill, and the rest will also be rewarded. Ye Xiwen was stunned. The top 3 won the blood essence fruit. This matter has been determined before. As for the Shantian pill, it should be added temporarily by Lin Zontian as compensation, but he already has 1 Shantian pill. It doesn't make much sense. Ye Xiwen is not too surprised that Lin Zontian can come up with the Shantian pill. After all, the Qingfeng Mountain One Yuan sect is backed by the behemoth of the One Yuan sect. Among the One Yuan sect, even the inner disciples have the strength above the innate, and have the innate ability. What's weird about Dan? The statistical results came out soon. Ye Xiwen was far ahead with a total score of 19,000 points, then Yifeng and Zhang Yang ranked 2nd and 3rd with 6,500 and 5,300 points respectively. Ye Rushui was ranked 12th, which was somewhat unexpected by Ye Xiwen, and this score was even higher than a few masters of the acquired 9th level. However, according to Ye Xiwen's observation, after this incident, Ye Rushui's aura was undoubtedly much calmer, and it was only a matter of time before she broke through to become the 9th level of the acquired day. And the time to join the main sect of the One Yuan sect is 3 months later. 3 months is enough for Ye Rushui to break through to the 9th level of the day after tomorrow, and it can even improve a lot. Ye Rushui is only 20 years old, more than Xiwen is only more than a year older, and to this extent, his talent is not inferior to Yi Feng. As for Ye Xiwen, he is not a normal person. He also relies on the help of the mysterious space to make rapid progress. If he changes his predecessor, he is not even qualified to be compared with his 2 older brothers and sisters. Ye Xiwen has already made up his mind to leave the extra Shantian pill to Ye Rushui. He doesn't need 2 Shantian pills. With Ye Rushui's aptitude, it can be said that he will be promoted to Shantian in the future. As the first place, Ye Xiwen deserved to be the first to receive his own reward, a blood essence fruit, a Shantian pill, 50,000 low-grade spirit stones, and 1 time to enter the library to learn a Shantian martial arts freely. The opportunity to learn, and some medicinal herbs. The rewards were far more generous than Ye Xiwen had imagined before. The spirit stone aspect was not Ye Xiwen's first consideration. The previous 2 windfalls made him no longer have to worry about the lack of spirit stone in a short period of time. The really important thing is that the blood essence fruit, this is something that innate masters are envious of. 9 in 100 years, even the innate masters have to spend half their life waiting. The later, the blood essence fruit, the more the value can be revealed. As long as you are within the innate realm and take the blood essence fruit, you can immediately upgrade to a realm, no matter what realm. It is of no use to the realm above the innate realm, but also, if it is useful to the true masters above the innate realm, how could it still be in the hands of the Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuanzong and the Zhang family, and it has long been taken away. There is also the Shantian pill. Although it is said that the Shantian pill is not rare in the Yuanzong, it is undoubtedly very precious. The precious thing is that it does not have any side effects and will not cause any damage to the future development of the martial artist. Any influence, this is the reason why Shantian Dan is famous, but unfortunately, it is only useful when the day after tomorrow is promoted to Shantian. The second update is coming. Next week, there is a recommendation from Sanjiang in the Wuxian space. If you are all right, can you go and vote for Xiaochen? Also, because of the relationship between Sanjiang, Xiaochen will update more. I hope everyone can support it. Chapter 63 Inches Dragon Palm. But even so, Shantian Dan can be said to be very precious. For Ye Xiwen who already had one, the Shantian pill was a bit redundant. In addition, it is also very precious to be able to freely enter and exit the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion to learn a congenital level exercise. It goes without saying that the innate exercise is precious. If you can learn a congenital exercise, for Ye Xiwen, the combat effectiveness can be improved. Get a huge boost. After sending everyone's rewards, Lin Zongkai said to Ye Xiwen and the other 3, the three of you come with me and go to the library to choose the exercises. Ye Xiwen and the three followed Lin Zontian to the library pavilion. Following Lin Zontian, the three of them successfully came to the top floor of the library pavilion. Compared with the densely packed books on the following layers, there were not many books on the top floor of the library pavilion. There were more than a dozen books, but Ye Xiwen knew that the books below were not worth the 20 or so books. The three of you are the most outstanding leaders in our Yiyuan sect this year. Lin Zontian said, in the area of Qingfeng Mountain, you are already the leader of the younger generation, but Qingfeng Mountain can only be regarded as remote in Deu country. The area is nothing at all, there are endless gatherings of geniuses from all over the main sect. The three of them all listened quietly without refuting. Indeed, in a place like the main sect, even Haodian 9th layer can only be an outer disciple, and those below the Haodian 9th layer can only be regarded as handyman disciples. Because although the conditions for joining the main sect are very broad, the 7th level or above is enough, but almost no one goes to the main sect before the 9th level, and no one is stupid. Although the status of the outer disciples is not high, they are better than those handymen. Disciple, the most important thing is that the resources in the main sect are far from what these branch sects can match. In the main sect, the probability of advancing to the innate realm will be much greater, which is why the branch sect is placed. The core disciples of the sect did not do the reason for going to the main sect, and the elders of the branch sects were only in the innate realm, and their development potential was limited, and they could not be compared with the main sect at all. Therefore, for countless years, those branch sects can only be regarded as the base that provides talents for the main sect. The Qingfeng Mountain One Yuan sect is just one of the many branches of the One Yuan sect. After a few months, geniuses from all over the world will gather in one place to compete. Thinking of this, Ye Xiwen can't help but feel a little excited. According to the information I have received, many branch sects have already produced congenital masters. Lin Zontian said, this time they have all invested their money to cultivate some peerless geniuses, and the main sect has also produced some geniuses. It's also the reason why I promised the Zhang family to let you enter the blood primordial realm to experience congenital master. The three of them were shocked. Yi Feng and Zhang Yang were already at the level of the acquired peak, and even Yi Feng was already at the level of half innate. Naturally, they knew better than the average person how difficult it was to break through to the innate realm. Even if Yi Feng, who is already half innate, has to be fully prepared before he dares to try, there are actually so many disciples of the same generation. Although it is said that after joining the general sect, these geniuses can quickly advance to Shantian, but there is still a big difference between entering Shantian before joining the general sect or after entering Shantian. And although Ye Xiwen has not yet reached the level of the acquired peak, but his combat power is comparable to the innate, so he also knows what it means to be a congenital master. No wonder Lin Zontian gave such a generous reward this time. Among the people this time, you have the most opportunity to advance to the innate in a short period of time, so this is why you will give the innate pill. In the next few months, you must make every effort to break through and strive to break through to the innate realm. Then I won't be too passive, Lin Zontian said without concealment. Competition is everywhere, the competition between the Yuanzong and the Zhang family, the competition between the subsects and the subsects, and the contest between the subsects and the general clan can be seen almost everywhere. The Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuan sect has backers in the general sect, and of course there are mortal enemies. Every time they worship the general sect, violent collisions will occur. You can also choose a book of innate exercises to practice. Lin Zontian said, his idea was to enhance the strength of these three people in a short period of time. Kindness. The three nodded in succession, and they also knew that joining the main sect did not mean that everything was peaceful from now on. On the contrary, it was the beginning of everything. Okay, I won't say more, that's about it, you go and choose the exercises. Lin Zontian said, the contest between several branches is almost the contest between these geniuses, the overall strength and so on. Unless it is strong enough to be similar to the main sect of the Yuan sect, it is meaningless at all. It seems that even if Yi Feng, Zhang Yang and other core disciples have all reached the 9th level of the acquired day, it is not enough for Ye Xiwen to kill alone. Ye Xiwen and the three of them were not polite, and started to choose them. These exercises were strong and weak, but almost all of them were above innate, and it was difficult to say even higher level exercises. Thunderbolt chain gun, flying knife, ... Ye Xiwen looked at the innate secret books one by one, but there was no martial arts that he liked. Suddenly, Ye Xiwen caught a glimpse of a slightly old cheat book lying quietly in the corner. The 3 characters of Panlong's palm were printed into Ye Xiwen's eyes. Ye Xiwen walked over, opened the first page, and suddenly heard a loud cry from Lin Zontian, "Don't turn it." But Ye Xiwen had already opened it. Boom! Ye Xiwen only felt a huge dragon roar coming from his ear, and a terrible thought rushed into Ye Xiwen's mind instantly. A huge figure suddenly appeared in Ye Xiwen's mind. The figure was blurred and he couldn't see it clearly, but he saw that figure was shot with a palm, and a cyan dragon rose up, screamed in the sky, and grabbed it with powerful claws. The sky will be torn apart. Ye Xiwen only felt that his entire mind was about to be torn apart by this giant dragon, and his spirit was about to collapse. The giant slapped it with one palm. Each palm was in accord with the will of God, and hit a giant dragon. For a while, the dragons danced wildly, and Ye Xiwen's mind was about to collapse. Suddenly, in the mysterious space in Ye Xiwen's mind, bursts of multicolored light suddenly appeared, sucking all the terrifying thoughts into it. Ye Xiwen abruptly opened his eyes, gasping for breath, dripping with cold sweat. "Are you all right?" Lin Zontian's figure had come to Ye Xiwen in the blink of an eye, and asked with concern. I'm fine," Ye Xiwen said with lingering fears. "As soon as the update arrives, ask for tickets for collection." Chapter 64. There was a cold sweat dripping from Ye Xiwen's back, and that terrifying consciousness almost wiped out his consciousness and shattered his mind. It was too terrifying. "What's the matter, little brother?" Yi Feng also asked with concern. He didn't know what happened to Ye Xiwen. He only saw Lin Zontian suddenly shouting and rushing over, while Ye Xiwen was soaked in cold sweat in an instant. It's okay," Ye Xiwen said comfortingly, but the scene just now was still vivid in his mind, and it was impossible to forget it. "It's all my fault," Lin Zontian said. "I didn't make it clear to you in time that this dragon palm cannot be read." "Why?" Ye Xiwen asked. "This Panlong palm was brought back from a ruin by one of our ancestors a long time ago. It is suspected to be martial arts in the ancient times," Lin Zontian explained slowly. "Martial arts in the ancient times?" The 3 exclaimed. There was a very brilliant martial arts civilization in the ancient times, but now there are only a few words left. The civilization that was once brilliant has only evolved into a legend. Yes, this is a martial art from the ancient times, but after getting it, no one can learn it, because this martial art inheritance method is inherited with the mind, and in fact, no one can bear that. "An idea," Lin Zontian said. "It should have been written by a certain Almighty, and the words of the Almighty contain the Tao of the Almighty. In the past, many ancestors tried to inherit it, but in the end they were all destroyed by that idea. And died, after a long time. No one paid attention, and finally fell into my hands. I brought it here, but I was oversighted and forgot to tell you. Fortunately you were all right." Ye Xiwen has lingering fears. Just now, he was almost torn apart, and his spirit collapsed. If it wasn't for that idea being sucked into that mysterious space, I'm afraid he would have collapsed and died at this time. That thought is really terrifying, and I don't know who inherited Dragon Palm. It's just a handwritten text, but it can contain such a terrifying thought. The terrifying idea, the power of its owner, is evident. You don't want to learn this martial art. It's definitely not something you can learn. Give it up, Lin Zontian said. Ye Xiwen nodded and didn't argue with Lin Zontian, but he also knew that that thought had been absorbed into his mysterious space. In the future, he could watch it whenever he wanted, and he didn't have to argue with Lin Zontian. After putting down Dragon Palm, Ye Xiwen chose a relatively alternative exercise called restraining breath exercise. The FA, however, is devoted to this aspect, and it is still an innate level practice. Everyone is very strange. Why Ye Xiwen did not choose one of the attacking or innate exercises, but chose this type of exercise, but did not know that Ye Xiwen now has a lot of innate exercises. If he chooses the same, there will be greed. The suspicion of chewing too much is not necessary. After the selection of the exercises, it means that the core disciple Dabi this time has come to an end. This time the core disciple Dabi is making a lot of noise in the Yiyuan sect. It was first designed by the Zhang family, and a congenital master was actually put in it. He monopolized the blood primordial fruit, but he did not expect that in the end, his body would be completely destroyed. It can be said that one stone stirred up 1,000 waves, especially Ye Xiwen, the disciple who killed the innate master by himself, and even became famous in the One Yuan sect overnight. Everyone knew that there was a disciple who killed the innate master. In a short period of time, Ye Xiwen's reputation has surpassed those of the veteran disciples, and he has become the #1 core disciple recognized by many disciples. However, when there was a lot of uproar outside, Ye Xiwen seemed to have disappeared from the eyes of everyone. After Ye Xiwen selected the exercises, he locked himself up and practiced in seclusion. 3 months later, it was time to join the main sect. Ye Xiwen had to hurry up to cultivate every minute and every second. Time was especially precious to him. After entering the general group, the competition will be more intense. One day passed, soon, 1 month passed in a blink of an eye. In the mountain behind Qingfeng Mountain, the sound of dragon chants rose into the sky. Ye Xiwen's face was calm, and he shot out one palm at a time. Boom! A big tree collapsed instantly under Ye Xiwen's palm and fell down with a bang. Ye Xiwen stopped and counted the time. It has been a month. In this month, Ye Xiwen's strength has developed by leaps and bounds. His cultivation has soared all the way to the peak of the acquired 9th level, and he is only one step away from entering the innate. 20% of the innate energy in his body has been transformed into innate energy, and his power has directly broken through to the power of 3 flying dragons, even comparable to some masters of the 2nd level innate. Now if he encounters Lu Ji again, Ye Xiwen will not need a few rounds completely crush him. In addition to these, in this month, Ye Xiwen has made the most progress in those martial arts. For Ye Xiwen, the martial arts have improved the fastest. The burning of a large number of spirit stones has allowed him to master the martial arts, completed in a short period of time. The first is the lack of moon slash. After a month of crazy perception, this move finally succeeded and went further, reaching the point of achievement. Ye Xiwen can now even chop 9 knives in a row. After that, it can only be a dead end. The moon cut, each more slash, the power will increase a lot, and by the time of the 9th slash, the power has reached a terrifying level. After a month of Tianxianbu, the continuous burning of spirit stones has finally deduced some features. The original Tianxianbu can only be regarded as a high-level exercise, which has been mastered by Ye Xiwen, and now, Tianxianbu, the exercises in the innate realm have been completely deduced. Although Ye Xiwen is only a first glimpse of the exercises in the innate realm, Ye Xiwen's speed has increased by more than half, and he runs away with all his strength. Scary. The first level of hegemony body art has also been practiced to the peak of Shaocheng, and it is only 1 step away from entering Dacheng. At that time, Ye Xiwen's physical fitness will develop by leaps and bounds. And Ye Xiwen, the 2 secret books he just got, The Secret of Breathing, has finally reached the point where he can enter the room. The second update is here. Ask for tickets, ask for collection. Chapter 65. If he closes his eyes, even if he is standing next to an acquired master, he will not be able to find it. As long as he is careful, Ye Xiwen is confident that he can hide from the innate master. Moreover, Ye Xiwen also discovered that the breath conditioning art can not only restrain his breath, but even change his breath, turning his breath into another person completely, which is really very rare. Ye Xiwen spent most of his time in Panlong's palm, the other book, Panlong's palm. The terrifying thought that was sucked into the mysterious space in Ye Xiwen's mind was almost always there. Constantly rehearsing Dragon Palm. Since it was in that mysterious space, Ye Xiwen didn't have to worry that that thought would collapse the entire space. Ye Xiwen watches Panlong's palm whenever he has time, but Panlong's palm is too subtle. Ye Xiwen's current level is still too low, and he can't grasp it all. In the past month, the crazy burning of spirit stones has only through that thought, Ye Xiwen realized the first move of Panlong's palm, Dragon's palm, but it only stayed at the level of first glimpse of the door, and did not even enter the room. But Rao is so, the power of the Qianlong coming out of the abyss is also amazing. On the contrary, just this palm will consume 10% of the innate qi. Ye Xiwen's progress in this month can be said to be extremely fast. The speed of his spiritual stone consumption is comparable to this speed. In just 1 month, his spiritual stone consumption has exceeded 500,000, and he has more than half of his net worth gone. Although he has not yet entered the innate realm, Ye Xiwen is confident that he is enough to defeat any master of the first layer of the innate, and even the master of the second layer of the innate can pass the trick, or at least escape. Ye Xiwen received the merit and did not stay in the back mountain of Qingfeng Mountain, but returned to the One Yuan sect. What, are you going to go to the main sect by yourself? Sha Chunzu exclaimed in surprise at the dining table in the Yi family. Yi Kongming on the side also looked at Ye Xiwen with a puzzled expression, not knowing what medicine Ye Xiwen was selling in the gourd. Do you know how long it will take to get to the main sect from our Qingfeng Mountain? Sha Chunzu asked. If it takes only 2 months. I know, but my cultivation has reached a bottleneck now. I think the journey to the main sect is also a kind of training. Ye Xiwen said. Generally speaking, before entering the main sect, the general sect will always send a huge monster bird to pick up the people who are going to go. This kind of flying mount is not uncommon in the main sect of Yuanzong, especially for the masters of the innate realm, who can't fly yet. The mounts for transportation are very important. Flying in the sky, running on the ground, swimming in the water. Yes, there are all kinds of mounts, and even if they can fly, most of them can't fly those mounts. Traveling between Qingfeng Mountain and Zongzong by flying demon birds is just a 1-day schedule, and it's not too difficult to get there. Therefore, although they are going to worship the main sect of the One Yuan sect in 3 months, Yi Feng and others are not in a hurry and quietly wait for the general sect to pick them up. Yi Kongming looked at Ye Xiwen, and then said to Sha Chunzu, since Wenner is going, let him go, practice a lot, and get to know the customs of various places, which will also have a great impact on his future cultivation. The benefits. But this journey is also full of dangers. Sha Chunzu said worriedly. Children and grandchildren have their own blessings. The flowers in the greenhouse will never grow into towering trees. Can we still protect Wenner for a lifetime? Yi Kongming said. That's fine, but you have to be careful on the road and bring a little more stuff. Sha Chunzu said. Well, I will. Ye Xiwen nodded, and immediately, Ye Xiwen took out a porcelain bottle from his arms and said, this is Shantian pill, help me transfer it to the second sister at that time. At this time, Yi Feng and Yi Rushui were both practicing in seclusion. Try to make a breakthrough before going to the main sect, and you can also be valued in the main sect. Isn't this Shantian pill yours? How can you give it to your second sister? Sha Chunzu said immediately. What about you? Don't worry, I still have one. Ye Xiwen said. Ye Xiwen knew it was hard for them to believe, so he took out another Shantian pill. All right then. Sha Chunzu had no choice but to agree. Yi Kongming and Sha Chunzu tacitly did not ask Ye Xiwen the source of Shantian pill. At the same time, I was also happy. If Yi Rushui could have the Shantian pill, it would be much easier to break through to the Shantian realm. What really makes them happy is not this, but the 3 children love each other and support each other. There is nothing happier than this. To the point where they are like this, the fact that they have seen flesh and blood killing each other is not 1 or 2. If the 3 of them can support each other, it is the best result, and what else can be asked for? As a parent, you just want your child to live a good life, that's it. Peace of mind is more important than anything else. Seeing that Sha Chunzu accepted the Shantian pill on behalf of Yi Rushui, Ye Xiwen showed a smile and came to this world. Everything in his previous life has nothing to do with him, everything only exists in his mind. The memory is gone, and occasionally turning over it can't change the reality. For him, it was these family members, and only these people, who helped him through the initial confusion and made him decide to live in this world with a new identity. He couldn't give up. Ye Xiwen's plan to go on the road alone has caused a lot of repercussions among the senior members of the sect. They don't care much about the life and death of ordinary disciples, but Ye Xiwen is different. Ye Xiwen is definitely the #1 core disciple now, and he is One Yuan. A rare genius in the sect can actually kill a congenital master. It is the trump card of Qingfeng Mountain Ye Xiwen against other branch sects. If you go on the road alone, you will be afraid of any accident. Qingfengshan Ye Xiwen has many deadly enemies. The family has suffered heavy losses, so how can we stop here, although this matter is ultimately unreasonable for the Zhang family. But the reasoning of this world is never important. The important thing is that whoever has the bigger fist is justified. Although the senior management did not agree, Ye Xiwen made up his mind. In the early morning of the next day, after packing up his things, he left Qingfeng Mountain and headed towards the Zongzong. End of volume. The first volume is over. Do you have a ticket? Have a collection of wood? Is there a reward tree? Shaochen will not refuse anyone who comes, the more the better. Chapter 66 Earth Kang Fire Company. As the sun sets in the west, the shadow of the person is drawn long, the sound of horses' hooves, and the dust is flying. On top of a fast horse, a youth in green clothes galloped fast on the official road. Above the official road, a small market town appeared in Ye Xiwen's field of vision. Since he left Qingfeng Mountain, Ye Xiwen has been walking on the official road for 2 days. He bought this horse in Qingfeng Town at the foot of Qingfeng Mountain. The horse cost Ye Xiwen 500 low-grade spirit stones. This is not an ordinary BMW, but a fast horse with the blood of a monster in its body. The Qingfeng Mountain generation is far away from the main sect of the Yuan dynasty. It will take 2 months to travel, and the average horse, it is estimated that it can run less than 1/10, and it will completely run to death. For ordinary people to come back quickly, it is enough, but for Ye Xiwen, ordinary horses are not enough. He has skill, and it is nothing if he doesn't sleep for a few days or nights, but he can't do a horse, and this fast horse with the blood of a monster on his body is extremely fast, more than twice as fast as a normal BMW, which makes Ye Xiwen unnecessary. Spend all your time on the road. Ye Xiwen entered this small town, and after asking, he found out that the town was called Caojiaji. The most powerful in the town was the Cao family, and even the town itself developed slowly on the basis of Caojiazhuang. When Ye Xiwen entered the town, he discovered that there are many warriors coming in and out, strong and weak. I found an inn to settle down and set up the horses. As soon as I settled down, the second shopkeeper warmly greeted me. Guest officer, what do you want? Give me a bowl of herbal tea first, and give me some of all kinds of side dishes. Ye Xiwen instructed, there is no set time to eat while on the road. After all, it is not always possible to meet a foothold at the right time. Okay, Xiao replied, little wait a minute, I have something to ask you, Cao Jiaji, is there something wrong? I see many warriors coming in and out here. Ye Xiwen asked. This guest officer, so you didn't come to apply for the recruitment? Xiao said in surprise, it's like this, our Caojiaji is more than 30 miles south, and there is an underground magma pool. Recently, someone discovered that in an extinct volcano, there is actually an earth blue fire company, and many ear warriors come here because of its fame, and the head of the Cao family in our Cao family set also began to recruit warriors 2 days ago. Earth Kang Fire. Ye Xiwen was stunned for a moment, but he didn't expect it to be such a treasure of heaven and earth. It was recorded in the miscellaneous notes that the Earth Kang Fire only grows in some magma with extremely high temperature, and even the temperature of ordinary magma is not enough for it to grow. Of course, there are many benefits to taking it. The physical body can be transformed into a fire spirit body. From then on, it is extremely rare to practice fire attribute exercises. But why do you still need to recruit warriors? Ye Xiwen asked. According to ordinary people's thinking, this kind of good thing must be swallowed up. It's a good question from the guest, because there is a monster guarding the magma pool. Xiao said about the monster and couldn't help but tremble. It is said that the monster is ferocious by nature, and there are a few warriors who went to investigate, and he was taken by him. Eat it alive. There is such a thing. Ye Xiwen frowned. There are monsters guarding Tianxia Bao, which is also a very normal thing, but obviously it will not be an ordinary monster, otherwise there will be no trouble. Such a big move. Do you know what that monster is? Ye Xiwen asked. Where can we know about this? But I heard that the news first came from the Cao family. Now the Cao family is recruiting warriors to slay demons and slay demons. If the guest officer is interested, you may as well ask. The shop assistant said. It would be great if we could kill that monster. Since we are not far from the magma pool, since a while ago, the monsters have frequently visited here. But it is strange to say that the people killed by the monster were all from the Cao family. Quote. Ye Xiwen, who just wanted to rest here, stopped and wanted to see what was going on. Ye Xiwen was also very interested in that Kang Fire Company. Time passed by, and the seats in the inn slowly filled up. After Ye Xiwen reserved a room, he slowly sat down and started to eat and drink. He hadn't eaten so relaxedly for 2 days. Suddenly, Ye Xiwen noticed that a man as strong as an iron tower walked in at the door, glanced at the inn that was already full of people, then saw Ye Xiwen sitting by the window, and strode in front of Ye Xiwen, with a gruff voice. Said, "Boy, get out of the way, hurry up, Grandpa spares your life." "Go away." Ye Xiwen didn't turn his head, just let out a low voice. In this world where strength is respected, giving back in such a situation would not make people feel that it was a graceful comedy, but cowardice. "What, you little bastard!" The strong man suddenly widened his eyes and scolded, his big futon-like hand instantly swiping towards Ye Xiwen. Bang! Ye Xiwen slammed the table, and the chopsticks on the table flew up. Ye Xiwen slapped the palm of his hand and used the force method of dragon palm. Hey! The chopstick made a sharp sound of breaking through the air, and with unparalleled speed, it flew towards the big hand of the strong man like lightning. Ah! The strong man screamed, the chopstick directly penetrated his palm, and the terrifying force flew the strong man's sturdy body up and slammed into the wall on one side. His palm was firmly nailed to the wall by chopsticks. The strong man was wailing on the wall, but Ye Xiwen seemed to have nothing happened. Ye Xiwen picked up another chopstick from the chopsticks box and started eating and drinking. Ye Xiwen knows that there must be countless eyes staring at him at this time. These are all unruly warriors, and they are all desperados. Although there is no innate realm here, Ye Xiwen is not afraid of them at all, but this after all, it's not a problem. Because of the matter between Di Kangwolian and that monster, many strong people have been attracted. Ye Xiwen didn't want to be too high profile before the matter became clear. Therefore, before things became too much trouble, some ambitious guys were intimidated. Sure enough, Ye Xiwen could feel that there were a few bad eyes in the eyes that looked at him, and he quietly took it back. Ha ha ha, this brother, good skills. The first update has arrived, and today it is on the list. There are 4 updates, and the 4th update is in the early morning. Please support us a lot. Chapter 67 Monster. Ha ha ha, this brother, you are very skilled. Footsteps came from upstairs, but saw a young man in a brocade robe laughing and walking down. I didn't expect to see such a master here, it's rare, rare. The young man in brocade clothes didn't even look at the screaming brawny man. A look of surprise flashed across Ye Xiwen's eyes. Although this young man in brocade clothes concealed his breath very well, after cultivating the restraining breath technique, Ye Xiwen was very sensitive to his breath, and he found out that this young man in brocade clothes was actually a master at the congenital level. When he came to Ye Xiwen, as if he was familiar with him, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, brother, my name is Dai Shalwa. It's a pleasure to meet you. Brother, how about you?" Dai Shalwa. Ye Xiwen raised his eyebrows slightly. A big man, actually called Dai Shalwa. Well, he admitted that he was ignorant, but obviously Dai Shalwa didn't feel anything, or was used to it. "My name is Ye Xiwen." Ye Xiwen said. The other party has no malicious intentions, and Ye Xiwen can judge this. After learning the breathing breath, Ye Xiwen's understanding of human breath has improved by leaps and bounds. It is not only able to restrain breath and change breath, can even tell whether a person's breath is hostile or not, and a person's expressions and words can be faked, but only breath can't be faked. Hey, after watching it for so long, I finally saw a decent expert. Dai Shalwa said with a smile, it's not like those rabble. Dai Shalwa was obviously talking about the other warriors in this inn, but surprisingly, although these warriors had some angry expressions on their faces, they were all restrained and did not dare to say anything. This makes Ye Xiwen a little curious. These idle warriors are completely different from the warriors with complete sect inheritance like Ye Xiwen. These people are simply a group of desperados, those who lick blood at the knife edge, and struggle between life and death all day long. Make them extremely irritable and irritable. There are indeed very good masters among the loose cultivators, but it is obviously not these martial artists who are only acquired. Seemingly seeing Ye Xiwen's curiosity, Dai Shalwa laughed and said, "It's nothing, these people are ignorant, it depends on whose fist is bigger, they can't beat me, so they can only bear it." Dai Shalwa said this. Ye Xiwen had some good feelings for Dai Shalwa, and straightforward people were always much stronger than those who had a deep sense of stigma. "Brother Yi, are you also here to apply for the warrior of the Cao family?" Dai Shalwa asked. "Yes." Ye Xiwen nodded and said, "Haha, just right, let's be a companion." Dai Shalwa laughed. "Okay, let's go together." Ye Xiwen laughed, feeling a little curious. Dai Shalwa was already a congenital master at a young age, and there were not many forces behind him who could teach such a master. Let's go now." Dai Shalwa said. "It's so late now?" Ye Xiwen asked. "It's not too late, that monster will come to visit every night, and the Cao family can't wait for us to visit more." Dai Shalwa said. The two immediately stopped sitting and went to Caojazhuang. Since the entire Caojazhuang was formed around Caojazhuang, Caojazhuang was also in the center of Caojazhuang. Dai Shalwa had been here for a few days, and she seemed to be familiar with this place. From a distance, although the sky is getting darker, Caojazhuang looks brightly lit. Countless torches are lit, illuminating the night sky. At this time, the gate of Caojazhuang was still open. When several guards saw Ye Xiwen coming together, they immediately stepped forward and shouted, "Who?" "Brother, the two of us heard that you Caojazhuang are recruiting warriors, so you are here to apply." Dai Shalwa stepped forward and said. After speaking, after a while, Caojazhuang's senior management came out, welcomed the two of them in, and said, "During this time, many people have been killed in our village. I hope you can help us catch that monster. We, Caojazhuang, must be very grateful." Quote. The two entered Zhuangzi under the leadership of the senior management of Caojazhuang, but they saw that there were already many warriors in Zhuangzi at this time, and they scattered to one side, trying to let people in all places to prevent that monster from hurting people again. According to what I have observed in the past few days, that monster comes almost every day, so we should be able to see a good show tonight. Dai Shalwa lay on the bench in the garden, holding a root of weeds, said to Ye Xiwen with a smile. Ye Xiwen sat down on a bench next to him, sat up cross-legged, and began to practice on his own. He is cultivating in that special space and can withdraw anytime, anywhere, so Ye Xiwen is not worried at all. The night was getting deeper and deeper. The surrounding voices also gradually disappeared, and everyone was waiting with bated breath for the arrival of the monster. Dai Shalwa didn't stay here for a long time, and left here, saying that she was going to walk around to see the most likely monster there. The night was getting deeper, and slowly, the entire sky was covered by dark clouds, and Wuji could not be seen, but the Cao family was still as bright as day. Suddenly, Ye Xiwen opened his eyes, a huge hideous and ugly head appeared in front of him, some sparks were exhaled between his breaths, and a wave of heat hit his face. Chang! Almost instantly, a blade of light rushed out of the scabbard behind Ye Xiwen and slashed towards the huge head in front of him. Dang! When the knife light hit the huge head, there was a sound of gold and iron symphony. The sharp knife light actually only made a white mark on the huge head. The monster was so frightened by Ye Xiwen that it spread its hooves and jumped to the back. Only then did Ye Xiwen see clearly what it was. But I saw that it was more than 10 feet high, with 4 claws on the ground, and its whole body was covered with dense red and black scales, and there was a frightening cold light in the faint firelight. A terrifying aura locked onto Ye Xiwen. With a knife in his hand, Ye Xiwen slashed out a huge crescent blade and instantly killed the monster. At this time, other nearby warriors finally discovered the monster and let go of their throats and roared. "Monsters! There are monsters! Can you go to Sanjiang to cast a vote for Xiaochen? You can't lose to them. It is at the top right of the home page of the starting point. After clicking on Sanjiang, go to the middle to get a Sanjiang ticket, and then there is a Sanjiang ticket at the bottom. Vote. Find Wushan space. Vote. Xiaochen thanks." Chapter 68 Fire Lin Beast. "Monsters! There are monsters!" Someone shouted frantically, and suddenly the entire Caojazhuang shook, and countless warriors rushed out with torches and weapons. However, this monster is outrageously strong. Although Ye Xiwen's knife was hurried, he would definitely be split into two halves on the spot if he replaced the average acquired 9th level peak, but he couldn't even break the defense of the monster. If it wasn't for Ye Xiwen's sudden attack, startled it, plus the people in Caojazhuang were alarmed, how could it go? Many warriors chased after them, but the monster was so fast that it was about to rush out in the blink of an eye. Several warriors who were caught off guard were either killed or torn apart. Can't even stop it. Go away. Suddenly a low voice came from not far away, but with a loud shout from Dai Shalwa, her figure flew over from the roof. 100 steps divine fist. Dai Shalwa threw a punch, and the terrifying energy instantly shook the air, chasing after the monster. Boom. The huge force actually slammed into the monster's body, bang. The monster's scales were shattered by the terrifying force. Dai Shalwa showed a completely different strength as soon as she made her move, and the strength of the first-level innate master who transformed 2 levels of innate chi was undoubtedly highlighted. The monster was in pain, and he wanted to stop and be aggressive. At this time, knowing that Dai Shalwa was not easy to deal with, he accelerated his speed. In the night sky, it flew away like a red and black flame, swept over. Dai Shalwa chased after him for a while, and was slowly thrown away by the monster. Dai Shalwa's boxing was tyrannical and invincible, but he obviously did not have a particularly powerful movement technique. At this time, he showed his disadvantage. As the so-called greed is not enough to chew, many people understand that Dai Shalwa's mastery in boxing is also a powerful innate practice. The law is undoubtedly inferior. What's more, the speed of this monster is terrifyingly fast. It is extremely fast by nature. Most people can only see a red and black shadow. Dai Shalwa stopped angrily, but it was a pity that he was a little far away at the time, otherwise he would be sure to stop the monster. Suddenly there was a gust of wind around him, and a figure instantly passed Dai Shalwa and chased towards the monster. Dai Shalwa recognized it as Ye Xiwen. Seeing Ye Xiwen's dashing steps, her figure seemed to be moving sideways, flashing constantly, and she chased after the monster. Dai Shalwa couldn't help being secretly surprised. This movement was amazing. The principle of greed and chewing is suitable for other people, but it may not be so suitable for Ye Xiwen. Even a genius, it takes years, or even more than 10 years, to master a martial art. But for Ye Xiwen, as long as he has enough spirit stones, he can master the martial arts in a short period of time. In just a few minutes, Ye Xiwen had already chased the monster out of Caojiaji, and chased all the way into the forest. Don't go, stay with me. Ye Xiwen snorted lowly, and slashed out with a knife. Under the faint moonlight, the dazzling light of the knife instantly shocked the entire mountain forest and slashed towards the monster. Roar! The monster was in a hurry, and with a loud roar, it moved sideways, dodging Ye Xiwen's sword chi. The monster turned around and stared at Ye Xiwen with a fierce expression, eyes the size of 2 lanterns, flickering fierce light, and locked Ye Xiwen firmly. With a long roar in the sky, the fierce aura radiated out, unexpectedly. It is also an innate level monster, and Ye Xiwen still doesn't know what kind it is. The monster opened its mouth wide, and a fishy smell rushed towards his face, followed by a burst of cyan flames, which instantly burned through the air and rushed in Ye Xiwen's direction. Whoosh! Ye Xiwen jumped abruptly and jumped directly over the monster, avoiding the cyan flame. Roar! The monster raised his head, opened his bloody mouth, and was about to take a bite. Looking for death, the long knife in Ye Xiwen's hand shot out instantly, and the light of the knife was like a falling star, slashing the monster's body fiercely. Missing moon cut. The power of the 3 flying dragons was completely released, and the terrifying power that exceeded 10,000 caddies was instantly concentrated to a point. Bang! There was a crisp sound of gold and iron, and the monster was slashed to the ground by the huge force contained in this knife, and then immediately turned over and got away. Ye Xiwen was stunned secretly. The defense of this scaled armor is so powerful that it is terrifying. Compared with humans, monsters have an advantage in themselves. Ye Xiwen attacked with all his strength, and the power of 3 flying dragons slashed horizontally, only to smash a few scales on the monster's body. This defense was the best among the monsters Ye Xiwen had ever seen. For such a terrifying monster, the average congenital first-level expert can't even break the defense, and can only let this monster run rampant. After the fight just now, Ye Xiwen can be considered to have tried it out. At the peak of Shantian First Layer, generally the masters of Shantian First Layer will be torn apart if they can't fight a few moves. That is, a person like Ye Xiwen, who is also a perverted person who can even fight with a congenital second-level expert, can force him to be a little embarrassed. The monster was in pain and knew that Ye Xiwen was not easy to deal with. With the strength of this blow, a lazy donkey rolled, and then flew all the way into the forest. It was even faster than before. Ye Xiwen couldn't catch up, so he could only give up. Ye Xiwen walked back along the original road. At this time, Cultivation was already brightly lit. The sudden attack of the monster just now made everyone energized and even more lively. A lot of people gathered at the entrance of Cultivation, and when they saw Ye Xiwen coming back, they all gathered around. "Brother Yi, how are you? Have you caught up?" Dai Shalwa asked. "No, let it run away." Ye Xiwen didn't want to reveal too many details of the fight. "It's such a pity, that's actually a fire beast. I didn't expect to see a fire beast here," Dai Shalwa said. "Explain." "In the matter of innate and true Dao is the realm after innate, and I will write about the specifics later, so it is not a typo to write innate as true Dao. The fourth update is in the early morning, everyone support. Recommend a friend's book, The History Book of Hippo Loose People, the hero of Xinhai. It is well written, everyone can read it. Chapter 69 Weird. It's such a pity, that's actually a fire beast. I didn't expect to see a fire beast here, Dai Shalwa said. Huo Lin beast, the one just now was the Huo Lin beast, no wonder the whole palm of my knife and machete cracked on his body just now. That scale armor is too strong. I don't think even those armors are so strong. If I can use its scales as armor, then I can't walk sideways. These warriors are still excitedly discussing the matter of the Fire Lin beast that appeared just now. After all, the Fire Lin beast did not do evil today, but was driven away. And Ye Xiwen is still recalling the information given to the Huo Lin beast in his mind. The Huo Lin beast is one of the more famous monster beasts that is born with magma. It only survives in the hottest places. According to rumors, the Huo Lin beast has ancient the blood of the fire unicorn, but this is just a rumor, no one knows the truth or not. After all, like the dragon family, the unicorn is now only a legend, and no one knows the truth. Just like the flying dragon is a sub-dragon species, the Fire Lin beast is also said to be a sub-unicorn species. It is one of the many monsters with Qilin blood. The adult Fire Lin beast is above the realm of the true Wei, so that is to say, this powerful and outrageous beast. The Huo Lin beast is not yet an adult, no, it may even be just born, it is hard to say. Birth is the innate realm, Ye Xiwen has to sigh. Compared to these unique monsters, the human race is indeed too weak. Except for wisdom, almost nothing can be considered as a specialty, but that's it. Humans still occupy the inmost areas of the Junwu world, the leader of the Junwu world, people are such a race. Thank you all today. Thanks to everyone's existence, the Fire Lin beast was frightened away, and it didn't cause a tragedy. At this time, a handsome middle-aged man walked out of the Kaujia village and said with hands, "You're welcome. The owner is welcome. You're welcome, it's a matter of your own accord." This person was actually the owner of the Cao family village, Cao Jinbiao. In any case, this time Cao Zhazhuang was able to escape the catastrophe. It is all thanks to you, and there will be a great reward in the future. Cao Jinbiao, the owner of Cao Zhazhuang, said. Cao Zhazhuang will organize a demon removal operation tomorrow. I hope everyone can participate. Cao Jinbiao said. No problem. Of course, we will definitely participate. Many warriors started laughing and said that they had just driven away the fire unicorn beast with ease, which greatly increased their confidence. After all, even though a few people died, the fire unicorn beast still fled, especially Ye Xiwen. The existence of this person who can hunt down the Fire Lin beast. Ye Xiwen was not so optimistic, because just now, he actually felt that Cao Jinbiao's strength was already in the innate realm. Although he disguised well, Ye Xiwen caught the slightest breath that he accidentally leaked. After cultivating, restraining breath, Ye Xiwen was very sensitive to his breath. He could judge his strength by his breath. This Cao Jinbiao was actually a congenital master, but it seemed that he was injured, so his breath was a little different. Stability, that's how Ye Xiwen caught it. However, even if it is an injured congenital master, he will not be powerless to fight back. Let the Fire Lin Beast wreak havoc, and the Huo Lin Beast specially picks people from the Cao family to attack. Two heroes, thank you two for taking action this time. Cao Jinbiao said. Of course he could see that the Huo Lin Beast was scared away by these two, and the other acquired warriors were simply not enough for the Huo Lin Beast. Hit. The village owner is polite. Dai Shaola waved his hand and said indifferently. You're welcome, Ye Xiwen said. Cao Jinbiao saw that the two of them didn't seem to be talking very much about sex, so he didn't delay any longer, talked with everyone for a while, and left. Hey, I didn't expect it to be a fire beast. Dai Shaola saw Cao Jinbiao leave. That's why he laughed. In addition to Di Kang Huo Lian, tisk tisk, I'm afraid it will really be lively this time. Dai Shaola said tisk tisk. I said how can there be such a thing as the Earth Blue Fire Lotus? It turns out that there are Fire Lin Beasts. I remember that there is a record in the book. The Earth Blue Fire Lotus itself is the associated treasure of the Fire Lin Beast, accompanied by the Fire Lin Beast. Appeared. The Fire Ordinary Beast Cub will mature soon after being born, and as long as the Fire Ordinary Beast Cub swallows it, it will jump from infancy to growth. Growth period. Ye Xiwen's brows wrinkled. The Fire Lin Beasts in childhood are already so difficult to deal with, not to mention the growth stage. How far it will go, Ye Xiwen has no idea, but fortunately it is not adulthood, otherwise, everyone has only it's worth escaping for your life, let alone any demon-slaying action. That would be an early death. This kind of monster with the blood of a divine beast is very difficult to deal with. Hey, I'm going to prepare too, there will be a lot of fun tomorrow. Dai Shaola cupped her hands and said, Brother Yi, I still have something to do, I'll go first. Seeing Dai Shaola leaving, Ye Xiwen did not stay in Caojazhuang any longer, but returned to the inn and began to retreat. Ye Xiwen always felt that there was something weird and strange in it. I was afraid that things were not as simple as he thought. Even if there were no other things, just the Fire Lin Beast in the growing stage was enough for everyone to drink a pot. Even a young Fire Lin Beast is already at the peak of the innate first layer, and can even easily kill some innate second layer masters. The Fire Lin Beast in the growth stage can be described as not difficult to deal with. It should be said to be quite scary. But no matter what, improving one's own strength is the only way to be able to cope with all the troubles. One night passed in a blink of an eye. Ye Xiwen put all his energy into cultivation, but this night, for many people, it was a sleepless night. The monster was confirmed to be a fire beast. It is already a human being, everything is known. There are fire beasts, and there are earth blue fire lotuses, which are enough to attract the attention of many experts. When Ye Xiwen received the merit and went downstairs, he found that there were already many powerful warriors in the inn who were not there yesterday. Judging from their busy appearance, it was obvious that they had just arrived, just for the sake of Huo Lin Beast and Di Kang. Fire Lotus. Can you go to Sanjiang to cast a vote for Xiaochen? You can't lose to them. It is at the top right of the home page of the starting point. After clicking on Sanjiang, go to the middle to get a Sanjiang ticket, and then there is a Sanjiang ticket at the bottom. Vote. Find Wuxian space. Vote. Xiaochen thanks. Chapter 70. There was a tense atmosphere in the entire inn. Have you heard? I heard that even the guards of the nearby Tianwei city have dispatched experts. I heard that it is Chen Tisho who was famous for moving a party decades ago. Why is he all dispatched? Isn't it rumored that Chen Tisho died long ago? In the early years, Chen Tisho was a congenital master who was famous for moving the party. Later, wasn't it rumored that he was dead? I didn't expect that he would hide in the city guard's mansion. Also, someone saw Xiaoyang's sword, the master of Xiaoyangmen, with his own eyes last night, and Wu Xiaoyang also entered the town, obviously for the sake of the Huo Lin Beast. Tisk tisk. Another innate expert. I'm afraid it's really lively this time. What is this? I just found out yesterday that we still have a great man hidden here. Everyone knows about the Dai family. Tisk tisk. Dai Shaola, the strongest master of the new generation of the Dai family, was there yesterday, and the one-handed 100 steps divine fist is here. To the point of ecstasy, One punch scare away the fire unicorn beast. Also, I heard that there was a young man who rushed out to hunt down the fire unicorn beast by himself, and came back unscathed. Tisk tisk, obviously he is also an unknown master. Everything was discussed in the inn. Ye Xiwen was quietly eating breakfast in a corner. No one knew that Ye Xiwen was the young man who came back unhurt after chasing and killing the Huolin beast alone. Ye Xiwen was just a little surprised. Dai Shalwa is actually a member of the Dai family. The Dai family is also a well-known faction in the vicinity. The one behind him is also one of the 4 major sects of the Deu Kingdom. Floating Cloud City. Floating Cloud City is also a relatively special force among the 4 major forces of the Deu country. It is based on the city. The sect of the range, the lord of the sect is the city lord of Floating Cloud City. His ancestor was the king of the founding emperor of Deu Kingdom. He was sealed in Floating Cloud City and created the foundation of Floating Cloud City. Floating Cloud City is also one of the 4 major sects that is closest to the royal family. Basically, it can be said to be in the same spirit as the royal family, advancing and retreating together. The Dai family nearby is also a branch of the Dai family in Floating Cloud City. The Dai family in Floating Cloud City is huge and spreads all over the country of Deu. It is one of the 4 major families in Floating Cloud City. The 4 competent subordinates. He should have guessed it yesterday, but at that time, his mind was all on the Huolin beast, and Dai Shalwa also made him feel very good and worthy of deep friendship, so he didn't think much about it. But even so, it is nothing. He is not the strongest disciple of Qingfeng Mountain Yuanzong this year. There are indeed a lot of masters who came this time, but no matter what, this time he has to fight for a fight. If there are too many people, there will be chaos. After a while, a warrior from Caojazhuang walked out of the inn, walked straight to Ye Xiwen and said, "Young Master Yi, our village lord specially sent me to ask, is young Master Yi ready for today's demon removal operation?" Ye Xiwen nodded. "Then please come with me." Ye Xiwen followed the warrior from Caojazhuang out of the inn. At this time, violent discussions broke out in the inn. Ah, could it be that he is the Ye Xiwen who hunted down the Huolin beast Bailey alone yesterday? I didn't expect to look so thin. Idiot, warriors can't be judged by their appearance. If you can determine the strength or weakness based on strength alone, isn't every warrior like an iron tower? Yeah, yesterday I saw an idiot provoking him, but he nailed it to the wall with chopsticks, and he couldn't even pull it out. Where is Ye Xiwen's genius? Why does it feel like it suddenly appeared? Don't you all know? At this time, a walking businessman said, "This Ye Xiwen is a peerless genius in the One Yuan sect this time." The genius of the One Yuan sect? No, although the One Yuan sect is a little far away from here, I also know the geniuses among them, Yi Feng, Zhang Yang and others. Why have I never heard of Ye Xiwen? Asked the knowledgeable man. You don't know that now? The traveling businessman said proudly. Then Ye Xiwen is a rising genius of the One Yuan sect. He was a blockbuster in the One Yuan sect, won the championship, and then won the championship in the core competition. It also made a name for himself, and I heard that he also killed a congenital master, who is now recognized as the #1 master of the younger generation by the One Yuan sect. Ye Xiwen didn't know that the entire inn was already boiling over his rumors. Following the warriors of Caojazhuang, they arrived at Caojazhuang in a short time. Although it was a town, in general, it was built around Caojazhuang, plus Ye Xiwen and the 2. The journey was also fast, and in a short while he arrived at Caojazhuang. At this time, the square of Caojazhuang was already crowded with people, all of whom were experts with a dangerous atmosphere. But soon, 2 people caught his attention. In the corner on one side, an expressionless old man stood quietly under the shade of a tree, and saw that his hands were actually black, like cast iron. Ye Xiwen immediately knew that this should be Chen Tisho. Although it seemed inconspicuous to stand quietly, no one dared to approach him, as if an ordinary beast had come to the territory of a tiger. On the other side, there is a completely different scene. A young man in red robe, standing with a sword, with a smile on his face, surrounded by many warriors, all want to get close to him. There are not giants such as the One Yuan sect and the Dai family, but it is also a large sect. There are also 3 innate masters in the sect. In this neighborhood, it is definitely a huge force that cannot be ignored. Ye Xiwen also found that the strength of these warriors has obviously improved a lot compared to the Qingfeng Mountain area. Sure enough, the closer to the core of Deu Kingdom, the higher the warrior's strength, showing a radioactive attitude. A power like the family cannot be calculated as a general power. Brother Yi. At this time, Dai Shalwa's voice came from Ye Xiwen's ear, and when he turned around, he saw Dai Shalwa trotting all the way and came to Ye Xiwen. I didn't expect Brother Yi to be a high-ranking disciple of the One Yuan sect. It's so hard to hide from me. When did you get swayed? What does it have to do with your identity and background when you and I intersect? Ye Xiwen said with a smile. Ha ha ha. That's right, it's a good word. You can become friends if you look at it. What does it have to do with your identity and background? Dai Shalwa laughed. Everyone. Sorry, I have a problem with the network at home, so this is a bit late. Chapter 71. Everyone. At this time, Cao Jinbiao, the owner of Caojiazhuang, came out and said, "It is an honor for everyone to be invited to come here today." Villager Cao, you're welcome. We are here today for the sake of the Fire Lin beast, said a warrior. Everyone nodded, although this was the action initiated by the Cao family, but if there was no matter of the Huo Lin beast and the Kang Huo Lian, otherwise, who came here? As for the Cao family being robbed, what does it have to do with them? Okay, then our demon removal operation will officially begin. Everyone, please come with us. Cao Jinbiao didn't say much nonsense. For a while, the mighty warrior team followed the Cao family towards the place where the underground magma pool was located. Ye Xiwen and Dai Shalwa were mixed in the crowd and walked all the way out of the town. The people present were all skilled warriors, and they walked very fast, but in less than half an hour, they rushed to a hillside. High, that is, 5 or 6 meters high, there is a large hole on the hillside, and from the entrance of the hole, it is extremely dark, and there is no bottom. Below this is where the magma pool is. Ye Xiwen quickly followed the crowd and entered the cave. As soon as I entered the cave, I felt a heat wave coming towards my face, and I could even hear the sound of bubbles popping out when the magma in the cave was tumbling and boiling. Ye Xiwen guessed that it might be an active volcano that has not yet formed. However, it seems that it will take a long time for a volcano to form. Ye Xiwen is in charge of what will happen in the future. As the team goes deeper and deeper, the temperature on the ground is getting higher and higher, and some less powerful warriors have had to start wrapping their feet with infuriating energy, otherwise they will be scalded by the heat. The light is also getting less and less, but everyone is a warrior. As long as there is a little light, you can see clearly. This is nothing, and as you get closer to the magma pool, there is gradually more red light in the cave. The group continued to walk into it, and after a while, they saw a huge magma pool with red magma rolling in it. Everyone clearly saw that in the center of the magma pool, there was a fiery red lotus flower, which was similar to the color of the surrounding magma, and could hardly be seen at all. Everyone couldn't help but secretly marveled at the fact that there are actually plants that can grow in magma. Under such a high temperature, it can grow in it. It is really unusual. I saw that the blue fire lotus is just like the ordinary lotus, but the whole body is red color, with lotus seeds on it. Haha, it's actually the Earth Kang fire lotus. A warrior couldn't help laughing. But seeing the warrior, he picked up a big stone on the ground and threw it out instantly. PFF'd. The stone fell into the magma, and another figure passed by in midair. The warrior slammed on the stone that had not yet floated down, and then took advantage of the force, and the figure moved towards the fire. Lien swept over. I saw that the warrior grabbed the ground blue fire lotus, and heard a scream. The warrior's hands were instantly scalded, and when his body moved, he couldn't maintain it immediately, and fell directly into the lava. In the middle, screaming was melted by the magma. It's really looking for death, and I don't even look at what's going on. Many warriors are very concerned, but fortunately they didn't rush over, otherwise they should be standing by themselves, but some people said it with disdain. Ye Xiwen frowned. Now it will be troublesome. There is not even a place to rest in the middle of the magma. Looking at the temperature, it is absolutely terrifying. Even if the feet are wrapped with infuriating energy, they will be dissolved in an instant. It's absolutely terrifying. Let me come. At this time, Wu Xiaoyong, the sword of Xiaoyong, shouted and stood out from the crowd. A scarlet sword flew out in an instant, and flew over the magma pool. Wu Xiaoyang flew over in an instant, as light as a swallow. At a point on the sword, the figure immediately swept towards the Earth Kang Fire Lotus. Brush. The sword swept across the Earth Kang Fire Lotus instantly and cut the entire Earth Kang Fire Lotus off. The Earth Kang Fire Lotus received a great force and flew into the air. At this time, Wu Xiaoyang just stretched out his hands and smashed the Earth Kang Fire Lotus. The Fire Lotus hugged him firmly. When he just used the Earth Blue Fire Lotus, his hand made a rustling sound, and the ultra-high temperature melted his true qi. Fortunately, he is already a congenital master. Innate true qi is far more powerful than acquired true qi. If it is acquired true qi, I am afraid that it will burn through the true qi in an instant, and the palms will be scalded. Wu Xiaoyang took advantage of his strength to fly to the other side of the magma pool soon, and at this time, there was another shrill sound of breaking through the air, and a rock hit Wu Xiaoyang like lightning. Bang! Wu Xiaoyang twisted hard in the sky, dodging the stone, and the stone slammed into one side of the stone wall, directly blasting a big hole. Chen Tisho, you old bastard, you dare to plot against me. Wu Xiaoyang turned around and saw that it was Chen Tisho who was doing the trick. He suddenly became furious and roared. Chen Tisho sneered and said, I advise you to put down the Fire Lotus, it's not something that you Xiaoyangmen can get involved in. Wu Xiaoyang's face was ugly. He stared at Chen Tisho gloomily, and said, what if I say no? Then your father will lose your son. I advise you to be more acquainted. When the old man was in the arena, he didn't have a boy like you. Chen Tisho said rudely. Old man, I still want to rely on the old and sell the old. It's just that after cultivating for decades. See if I don't kill you today. Wu Xiaoyang was furious at Chen Tisho's words. It's up to you. Chen Tisho sneered and stepped forward, flying over. Old thing, just die on it. Wu Xiaoyang slashed out with a sword, and the terrifying sword energy instantly slashed out towards Chen Tisho. Boom! Chen Tisho blocked with both hands, and actually squeezed the sword energy directly. At this time, Chen Tisho's body was stagnant, and he almost fell into the magma. Chen Tisho shot towards the magma. A burst of energy shot out in an instant. The huge force made the magma sink, and Chen Tisho bounced up with the help of this reaction force. His figure was like an eagle, and he was instantly transformed and blasted towards Wu Xiaoyang. Even if they originally came for the Kang Fire Lotus, it's too fast to start, and they haven't even seen the shadow of the fire beast. Dai Shalwa said with some disdain. The second update is here. Ask for tickets, ask for collection. Chapter 72 The Trap Set by the Cao Family. Fire Beast. Ye Xiwen shook his head, who really wanted to help the Cao family. Almost all of them came for the Earth Blue Fire Lotus. Without the benefits of the Earth Blue Fire Lotus, the ghosts are willing to come here. Because of the fierce battle with Chen Tisho, Wu Xiaoyang could only put down the Earth Fire Lotus now. Grab the Fire Lotus, kill. Seeing that Wu Xiaoyang and Chen Tisho were fighting together, the other warriors suddenly erupted, and the greed for the Earth Kang Fire Lotus suddenly erupted. Slaughter, slaughter, and suddenly many people died in just one encounter. The greed of human nature is undoubtedly reflected at this time. Many people died because the aisle of the magma pool was too narrow and was directly squeezed out of the magma. Ye Xiwen and Dai Shalwa were not in a hurry to rush over. To them, these people are nothing but a mob and nothing to worry about. The only ones who can be called opponents are Chen Tisho and Wu Xiaoyang. The innate masters have already fought together. Of course, there is also Cao Jinbiao from Caojazhuang. Ye Xiwen will not forget, he is also a congenital master. Suddenly, Ye Xiwen suddenly discovered that Cao Jinbiao, who was supposed to be in the middle of the team, had disappeared. This discovery suddenly made him nervous and surprised. Cao Jinbiao is gone, Ye Xiwen said quickly to Dai Shalwa. What, wouldn't it be killed by the warrior just now? Dai Shalwa said. No, but from the beginning, it seems that we haven't seen anyone from the Zhang family. Ye Xiwen said. When Ye Xiwen said this, Dai Shalwa immediately reacted. Indeed, it seemed that no one from the Cao family appeared just now. There is a problem, Dai Shalwa said with a frown. The surrounding shouts of killing seemed unable to affect his judgment. Chaos, chaos. The crowd had already rushed to the other side, leaving only Ye Xiwen and Dai Shalwa on this side. Ye Xiwen saw that a man rushed over to grab the fire lotus, but was shot into a hedgehog by the hidden weapon in the sky. At this time, whoever rushes over will have a dead end. But it didn't take long before everyone rushed over together, and rushed over. When Ye Xiwen was thinking about it, suddenly, the entire magma boiled, and a huge black shadow jumped out of the magma. It's a fire beast. Everyone was stunned by the sudden appearance of the fire Lin beast. Let me come. Dai Shalwa shouted, her body flew, and she swept over, 100 steps divine fist. A fist was sent out fiercely, and the fist force shot out. Boom! Fist Jin slammed into Huo Lin beast's body, but it could only make his sturdy body move slightly. Ye Xiwen was also directly at a point in the void, flew across the entire magma pool, and shot with a knife. The sword light shook the sky and slashed out fiercely. The Huo Lin beast screamed, and the scales were shattered. The Huo Lin beast didn't stop there, but rushed towards the earth blue fire lotus, and was about to swallow the earth blue fire lotus in one bite. Beast! Wu Xiaoyang on the side shouted a long sword and danced a thick and long sword energy, which was instantly inserted in front of the fire Lin beast. That Chen Tisho didn't even care about facing Wu Xiaoyang. He punched out, the air crackled, and the Huo Lin beast that Chen Tisho hit directly rolled to the side with a scream. However, the Huo Lin beast did not give up, turned over, rolled to the side of the earth blue fire lotus, and bit down most of the earth blue fire lotus in one bite. Beasts! At this time, everyone was angry, seeing that the fire beast actually ate most of the earth blue fire lotus. The Huo Lin beast roared in the sky and rushed towards a group of acquired martial artists. Almost in an instant, these acquired warriors who were fighting each other just now suffered heavy losses. Kill, haha, kill them all for me. At this time, there was a shout of killing in the distant passage, and this voice was very familiar to Ye Xiwen. It was Cao Jinbiao, the owner of Caojazhuang. After a while, the people in Caojazhuang actually came in, and the leader was Cao Jinbiao. Behind Cao Jinbiao, there were actually two innate powerhouses, one middle-aged warrior, probably a little smaller than Cao Jinbiao, and the other was a skinny one, the old man. Ye Xiwen recognized the two. When he was in Caojazhuang before, someone introduced that they are also the current strengths of Caojazhuang. The middle-aged man is Cao Jinbiao's younger brother Cao Jinshui, and the other old man is the elder of Caojazhuang, named Cao Xing, unexpectedly, is actually a congenital expert. Caojazhuang is just a small villa, and it can hide dragons and crouching tigers like this. Caojazhuang, what do you mean? Chen Tisho asked. Ha ha ha, of course I killed all of you, today you all have to die. A martial artist in Caojazhuang said with a laugh. You dare to get under the hood, aren't you afraid of our army's encirclement and suppression? Chen Tisho said coldly. Do you think you've left? You're just the first wave. After attracting all the innate masters around here and killing them, our Caojazhuang will be the #1 force nearby. He said, and whoever saw it was our hands, everyone knows that all of you died in the mouth of the fire beast. So, this fire beast. Dai Shalwa's face also became very ugly. Exactly, let you be a clear ghost, in order to subdue this beast, we have spent a lot of hands and feet. The warrior said with a laugh. Ye Xiwen immediately understood. In this way, everything can be explained, why Cao Jinbiao's breath is unstable, compared to the injury he suffered when he was trying to conquer the fire Lin beast. In other words, the person Caojazhuang really wanted to attract should be the masters of Xiaoyangmen and Tianhuicheng, while himself and Dai Shalwa were shot even while lying down. Shut up. Cao Jinshui snorted, kill them all. When our Caojazhuang becomes the largest force in the neighborhood, you will be the most popular and spicy. Kill, kill. The people in Caojazhuang shouted and killed for a while, and those who were invited by the Cao family looked ugly for a while, but now, it's a matter of life and death, and it's not their turn to think too much. Come together. Ye Xiwen moved, bent down and grabbed the root of the earth blue fire lotus on the ground. Although the main part has been eaten by the fire unicorn beast, even if it is only the root, it is very rare. But before Ye Xiwen could think about it, a huge black shadow jumped over and slammed Ye Xiwen into the air. PFF'd. Ye Xiwen's entire body fell into the lava. Chapter 73 Breakthrough, Innate. Brother Yi, Dai Shalwa became anxious. You bastard. Dai Shalwa slammed out the 100-step divine fist with one hand. Dai Shalwa was in a hurry and didn't hold back. The fire orb had just hit Ye Xiwen, and it was too late to dodge the defense. The fist strength broke through the layers of scales and slammed into the flesh of the fire Lin beast. At this time, Dai Shalwa's strength at the peak of Shantian first layer is undoubtedly reflected. But at this time, Dai Shalwa couldn't care about chasing and killing the Huo Lin beast, because Cao Jinbiao of Caozhazhuang had already been killed, and he was another terrifying innate master, so Dai Shalwa had to concentrate on dealing with it. The three innate masters of Caozhazhuang confronted Dai Shalwa, Chen Tisho and Wu Xiaoyang respectively, and they were already prepared. The three of Dai Shalwa became anxious. The most terrifying thing was not the three congenital masters in Caozhazhuang, but the fiery beasts who were watching. They dragged on for a while, and after the transformation of the Huo Lin beast was completed, they would all be killed by the Huo Lin beast. The faces of the three were not very good. I didn't expect that Cao Zhazhuang's thoughts were so vicious that they would kill them all. When I go out, I will let my father lead someone to destroy your Caozhazhuang. Wu Xiaoyang said coldly through gritted teeth. Then you have to go out and talk about it. Wu Xiaoyang's opponent was Cao Jinshui. He sneered, and he didn't care about Wu Xiaoyang's words at all. During the time of the conversation, the aura of the fire Lin beast has gradually become stronger. With a bang, the aura of the fire Lin beast sold the peak of the first level of the innate and reached the level of the second level of the innate. The breath has not stopped, it is still growing. Let's go, let's break out. As long as one person escapes, the Cao family will raid the family and destroy the family. Chen Tisho finally shouted. This is also said to Dai Shalwa and Wu Xiaoyang. Get away, and as for those acquired martial artists, in his heart they are like ants, and it doesn't matter at all. Go, where are you going? Cao Jinbiao said with a laugh. The soaring Huo Lin beast roared, his eyes were red, full of blood and violence, and the huge body leapt vigorously and rushed towards Chen Tisho. The strength of the Huo Lin beast, which had broken through to the innate second layer, greatly increased, and Chen Tisho was thrown to the ground with a single pounce. Go to hell, beast! Chen Tisho shouted loudly, and the black palm shot out instantly, containing terrifying strength, and the air burst with a crackling sound. Boom! The fire Lin beast raised its claws and stepped on it directly. Kara! There was a sound of broken bones, and Chen Tisho's arm was directly shattered by the Huo Lin beast. Chen Tisho didn't even have time to scream, and the Huo Lin beast stepped on it with one foot, which was so heavy that it broke Chen Tisho's sternum. Ah! Chen Tisho screamed, and the Huo Lin beast spewed out a fierce fire, which directly burned through Chen Tisho's body, protecting infuriating energy, and burned Chen Tisho into coke. Ha ha ha! Don't even think about leaving today. Cao Xing and Huo Lin beast, who had freed up their money, rushed towards Wu Xiaoyang and Dai Shalwa respectively. Suddenly, the entire magma began to boil, a terrifying aura rushed up from the magma, and countless spiritual energies poured into it frantically, forming huge bubbles one by one in the magma. All the innate complexions present changed drastically. They were all too familiar with this scene. Some people were breaking through the innate realm, especially the people from the Cao family. Their expressions changed drastically. How could someone break through the innate realm in the magma? Dai Shalwa was overjoyed and seemed to have thought of something. Go on, slaughter them all. Cao Jinbiao said immediately, and then things changed. Boom! Before they could make a move, a huge explosion sounded from the magma, and countless magma splashed out. Except for the fire unicorn beast, everyone rushed to blast the magma away. Roasted. A figure jumped up from the magma, and seeing the black figure, the one who reacted the fastest was the fire Lin beast, who swooped towards the black figure, his red eyes full of hatred. However, he saw a flash of sword light, and the incomparably bright sword light instantly cut through the air and slashed at the body of the Huo Lin beast. Bang! There was a huge sound of gold and iron mingling, and the Huo Lin beast screamed. The huge body was directly smashed and flew far away, and a huge crack was cut by the knife gas on the scarlet scales. Blood splattered out, and this was the first time anyone had been able to cut through his scales. Everyone stared at the figure in midair dumbfounded, but in the blink of an eye, the form was reversed. This change was difficult to accept for a while. At this time, the figure fell from midair and landed on the side of the bank. "Brother Yi, you're all right," Dai Shalwa said in surprise. Wu Xiaoyang also looked at Ye Xiwen in surprise. Although he was not familiar with Ye Xiwen's appearance at this time also gave them an extra reinforcement. Ye Xiwen nodded slightly towards the two of them, holding a knife in his hand, staring coldly at the people in Caojazhuang. For Ye Xiwen, only he knew what kind of life and death moments he had experienced before. It could almost be said to be a life and death situation. Falling into the magma pool is almost certain to die. Acquired infuriating energy can't stop the invasion of magma at all. Even innate ingenuity will burn very fast, and there is no way to continue to resist it. Ye Xiwen decided to swallow it at the critical moment. He went down to the roots of the Kang Fire Lotus, and took out the Shantian pill to start the attack on the Shantian realm. Only after hitting the Shantian realm, Ye Xiwen would be able to escape the catastrophe with the endless generation of true qi. Ye Xiwen has no way out. If he doesn't make a breakthrough, he can only be burned to death in the magma, but fortunately, there are many people. Although he did not swallow all the Fire Lotus, after swallowing the roots of the Fire Lotus, Ye Xiwen's body also had some characteristics of Fire Spirit body. The fire resistance was greatly improved, and the damage of magma to him was greatly reduced. It was possible to stay in the magma for so long without being burned to death. And he can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. From now on, it is difficult for ordinary flames to burn him, and his resistance to fire has greatly increased, and if he cultivates fire attribute exercises in the future, it will be twice the result with half the effort. This is also the reason why those warriors rushed over. Ask for a ticket or something. Everyone who has a ticket will give a ticket. Thank you, Xiao Chen is a superstar. There are also Sanjiang votes that can be cast every day. Can you vote? Chapter 74. This most important characteristic of the Earth Blue Fire Lotus is the fundamental reason why many warriors rush here. Because of his strong fire resistance, Ye Xiwen was able to break through the magma and become an innate master. Under the magma, Ye Xiwen didn't have time to think about it. He just wanted to make a breakthrough as soon as possible. After taking the Shantian pill, Ye Xiwen still failed to get promoted smoothly. After half a step of innate junqi is completely consumed, he will be burned to death in the magma in an instant. However, after 9 deaths in a lifetime, Ye Xiwen did not get any benefits. Half of the true qi in his body, that is, about 50% of the acquired true qi, was transformed into innate true qi. Of course, compared to the elites of the innate third-level masters who have transformed 60% of their true qi, there is still some gap. Moreover, Ye Xiwen's power also broke through the power of 10 flying dragons at that moment, and soared all the way to the power of 11 flying dragons. And speaking of it, among the martial arts he is practicing now, although there are many martial arts at the congenital level, almost all of them have only mastered the level of advanced exercises. His infuriating energy has been transformed into 50%, but compared with the masters who have truly transformed 50% of the innate energy, there is still a big gap. But it is enough to deal with the Fire Lin beast that has just broken through to the second level of innate. After Ye Xiwen has cultivated all the martial skills of the innate level, Ye Xiwen will really have the strength to compete with the ordinary masters of the third level of innate, but he is still only innate. It's just a realm. It's you, you're not dead, Cao Jinshui said with an incredible look. Thanks to you, I didn't die. Ye Xiwen said with a cold smile, I'm afraid you Caojazhuang will be removed today. You little bastard, dare to threaten me. Cao Jinshui roared, I will kill you today. Cao Jinshui roared and charged towards Ye Xiwen, his palms shot out, and the air stirred by the terrifying infuriating qi was shaking endlessly. Beyond one's own strength, Ye Xiwen sneered, and the thunder-bending hand instantly issued it. Although the thunder-bending hand is only a low-level exercise, in Ye Xiwen's hands, it has reached the level of perfection. Although he mainly practiced during this period of time, Cold Moon Slash, but Legend of Thunder, has not been put down. It is just at your fingertips, and the power is endless. With the combination of half of the innate qi and the power of 11 flying dragons, he transformed it into only 10%. Cao Jinshui, who is innately true, can deal with it. Boom! Ye Xiwen slammed out with a palm, making a burst of thunderous roars. Bang! Ye Xiwen broke Cao Jinshui's arm in an instant, and the bones of his entire arm instantly turned into powder under the terrifying force of Ye Xiwen's 11 flying dragons that exceeded 10,000 catties. Ah! Cao Jinshui screamed, and his body flew upside down. The terrifying force also shocked the organs in his body, and almost didn't shatter. How is that possible? Everyone looked at this scene dumbfounded. Cao Jinshui, a congenital expert, couldn't even block Ye Xiwen's palm and was blown away. How strong is Ye Xiwen? However, it was clear that Ye Xiwen had no plans to let Cao Jinshui go at all. The long sword shot instantly, and the crescent-shaped sword energy instantly slashed out, splitting Cao Jinshui in half in midair. Golden water. Cao Jinbiao roared angrily, "I killed you." Cao Jinbiao saw his brother who grew up with him die in front of him, and he suddenly rushed towards Ye Xiwen like a madman. At this time, the fire-horrifying beast also had red eyes and rushed over, spitting out high-temperature flames. White and scary. And Cao Xing on the other side also rushed over, and the three of them were a little crazy. Ye Xiwen must be killed. If Ye Xiwen is not killed, the bureau they set up today will cause Cao Zhazhuang to be buried by the anger of countless surrounding forces. Ye Xiwen sneered, put away the knife, stepped on his feet, his figure almost disappeared in the air, and he was promoted to the innate realm. Ye Xiwen not only transformed half of his true energy, innate is the first great realm of martial arts, and it is also undergoing transformation. The first big step from acquired to innate, the transformation of body experience can be said to have reached an incredible level. Ye Xiwen's strength, who has reached the innate realm, has substantially improved by leaps and bounds. It can be said that if the change is the previous Ye Xiwen, now he can knock down easily. This is Ye Xiwen's current strength. Brush. In a flash, Ye Xiwen appeared in front of the Huolin beast, stretched out one hand, and directly squeezed the flames that the Huolin beast spewed out. The right fist was instantly swung out, and the innate chi was attached to the fist, and instantly condensed into with a terrifying punch, it slammed into the head of the Huolin beast. Although the speed of the Fire Lin beast is also very fast, and after eating the Earth Blue Fire Lotus, the speed is even faster, but it still cannot avoid Ye Xiwen's punch. Bang! The scales on the Huolin beast's face were shattered by Ye Xiwen's punch. Boom! The Huolin beast's huge body flew up again, and slammed into the rock wall fiercely. The terrifying force directly broke many bones on the Huolin beast's body, screaming on the side. Cao Jinbiao's figure appeared behind Ye Xiwen, and a trace of madness flashed in his eyes. Good chance, go die. Cao Jinbiao shot with a long spear in an instant. The spear shadowed like a dragon, with terrifying fluctuations, and instantly stabbed Ye Xiwen. Snapped. Ye Xiwen seemed to have eyes behind him, turned around instantly, and grabbed the body of his gun. Bang! The spear was snapped by Ye Xiwen and shattered into pieces. Then Ye Xiwen stepped on it and stepped out, instantly appearing in front of Cao Jinbiao, and slapped it out with a palm. Bang! Cao Jinbiao slapped Ye Xiwen firmly, but he didn't have the terrifying physical fitness of the Fire Lin beast. He was directly hit in the chest by the power of 11 flying dragons, and his internal organs were instantly filled with Ye Xiwen's infuriating energy. Minced. Died in an instant. All of this is a long story, but in fact, it's just a matter of a few breaths. At this time, the last Cao Xing has already killed Ye Xiwen, and he can't even see Ye Xiwen's tactics. Suddenly saw Cao Jinbiao die under Ye Xiwen's hands. However, it was too late to escape at this time. Ye Xiwen instantly threw out a spear, which pierced through Cao Xing's body. With a huge force, Cao Xing was directly brought into the magma, screaming and being burned to ashes. Ask for a ticket, ask for a collection, and ask for another Sanjiang ticket. Chapter 75. In a short period of time, the fire phosphorus beast was crippled, and Cao Jinbiao, Cao Jinshui, and Cao Xing, all three innate warriors, were killed. The speed of this conversion is simply dizzying, but at this time, the idle warriors all roared. To kill these bastards of Cao Zhazhuang, actually want to kill Laozi. Kill them. I want to remove Cao Zhazhuang from this. Faced with a choice between life and death, many warriors who survived because of Ye Xiwen rushed towards the warriors in Cao Zhazhuang with roars, and the resentment that they almost lost their lives all burst out at once. Ye Xiwen didn't say anything, just came to the side of the fire phosphorus beast and made up a knife. The fire phosphorus beast had already been crippled by Ye Xiwen's punch. At this time, he had no ability to resist, and was finally killed by Ye Xiwen. Ye Xiwen did not use the fire phosphorus beast on the spot, but received the fire phosphorus beast in the storage ring. As a monster with the bloodline behind the unicorn, his body can be said to be a treasure. It is still not fully grown. If it grows up, if you get the fire Lin beast, I am afraid that it will attract the true masters to take action. However, if it is really a fire Lin beast that has completely transformed into a growth stage, Ye Xiwen is afraid that he will not be able to deal with it, but it will die ugly. During the period of rapid transformation, if given enough time, the fire unicorn beast can even grow to the 6th level of innate in just 1 year. It was still in the growth stage, and when it matured, it would definitely be a terrifying existence comparable to the true Wei, but fortunately, this fire orb was killed by Ye Xiwen before it had grown up. Brother Yi, I didn't expect you to be fine. Dai Shalwa walked over and said that the fights of the acquired warriors could not arouse his interest at all. With the deaths of the 3 innate masters of Caojazhuang and the Huo Lin beast, the overall situation has been decided. It is useless for them to kill these acquired masters. As long as the 3 of them shoot, they will be dead. Sure enough, although the people of the Cao family were underdogs, those idle warriors were also very angry. They were tricked by the people of the Cao family and almost died. Many friends even died here. The 2 sides fought hard for a while, but Wu Xiaoyang soon joined the battle circle. As soon as this innate master joined, the battle immediately fell into a one-sided massacre. After a while, the master of the Cao family was killed. The slaughter is gone, and there is no way to fight back. Brother Yi, we owe you a life-saving grace today, and if we have the opportunity in the future, we will definitely repay it. Wu Xiaoyang said, I have to go back next time, make this news public, and leave first. Ye Xiwen nodded. After a while, everyone left cleanly, only he and Dai Shalwa were left, and everyone didn't want to stay here any longer. Brother Yi, don't say anything. If you need help in the future, you can come to Floating Cloud City to find me. Dai Shalwa said with a smile. Ye Xiwen nodded, although Dai Shalwa didn't say anything nice, but Ye Xiwen knew some of Dai Shalwa's character during this period of time. These words are more meaningful than bells and whistles. How could a young hero like Dai Shalwa break through the innate realm at such a young age? How could he not enter the Dai family's main sect in Floating Cloud City? This is an inevitable rule. I think we will be able to meet again soon. Dai Shalwa laughed and laughed. With Brother Yi's talent, now he will definitely go to the main sect of the One Yuan sect, and he will also be outstanding among the main sects of the One Yuan sect. When the sect meets martial arts, we should be able to see you soon. The 4 sects of martial arts. Ye Xiwen was a little puzzled. Brother Yi, you don't know yet, but it's actually a joint martial arts meeting held by the 4 major sects of our Deu Kingdom. The best of them will become famous in Deu Kingdom overnight. Dai Shalwa said, sometimes, the masters of the royal family will also join in. In short, the competition is fierce. But in my opinion, with Brother Yi's strength, standing out is not a problem at all. Quote, Ye Xiwen didn't ask any more questions. He hasn't entered the main sect yet, so he doesn't know many things yet, but as he slowly entered the main sect, these things are no longer a secret, and he will know it eventually. Oh. Then I'll leave. I'm going to Floating Cloud City too. Hee hee, this time I actually ran out on my own and didn't follow the clan's team. Dai Shalwa said. The 4 major sects of the Deu Kingdom are located in the 4 directions of the south, northwest and northwest of the Deu Kingdom. They are like 4 portals, and they firmly protect the Deu Kingdom. Although it is far away, if you take a flying monster, it is only a 1-day schedule, but Floating Cloud City is in the north of Deu country. Even if you take a flying monster, it will take half a month less time, so this time, Dai Shalwa was much more nervous than Ye Xiwen. Well, the mountains and rivers meet, and there will be a future. Ye Xiwen nodded. After saying goodbye to Dai Shalwa, Ye Xiwen started to travel alone again. 2 months passed in a blink of an eye, and the Yiyuanzong Mountain Gate, which is located in the due west of Deu Kingdom, was completely lively. More than 100 geniuses from all over the country, as well as countless geniuses, came here, wanting to worship the Yiyuanzong. The person who instantly made the mountain gate of the One Yuan sect lively. This is where the main sect of the One Yuan sect is located, and it is the foundation of all the disciples of the One Yuan sect. Ye Xiwen looked from a distance, dozens of miles away. There was an endless mountain range, like a holy place of immortal mountains. The sky rises, the clouds and mist are lingering, and countless waterfalls traverse down, like the Milky Way falling for 9 days. Among the endless mountain peaks, palaces rose from the ground, blending in with the surrounding environment, completely natural. What's even more spectacular is that in the depths of the mountains, there are many palaces on the floating peaks, just like cities. With Ye Xiwen's state of mind, he was still shocked by the sight in front of him that was like a fairyland. Compared with the main sect of the One Yuan sect, the environment of Qingfeng Mountain was simply scum. No wonder countless people would rather give up their lofty status in the branch sect. It is also necessary to come to the main sect. This is simply a fairyland on earth, and it is not the same. Although it was dozens of miles away, Ye Xiwen could feel the wind of strong spiritual energy, blowing towards his face, and after just taking a breath, he felt that his whole body was full of pulses, and he felt a sense of relief. Knowing how many spiritual veins were captured by Daneng and buried at the foot of the mountain will make the spiritual energy rich and popular. Cultivating here is simply a matter of getting twice the result with half the effort. Ye Xiwen has finally arrived at the main sect. Do you have any tickets or collections? Only with your strong support can Ye Xiwen rise rapidly. Chapter 76 Brother Shi Yi. No wonder there are so many masters in the main sect. If you cultivate in such a place, even if your aptitude is slightly inferior, the probability of cultivating to the innate realm is greatly increased. Moreover, the One Yuan sect accepts apprentices, although it cannot be said that all of them are peerless geniuses, but the aptitude is not bad. In the main sect, those disciples of the acquired 9th level can often break through to the congenital realm within a few years. If they were in a branched sect environment, they would be considered talented if they could advance to the advanced level within the age of 30. Various resources and environments, the division and the total are very different. Although it's not a few years away, but after entering the main sect and cultivating to the innate realm and not entering the main sect can cultivate to the innate realm, it is not the same thing at all. It's only a few years away, but the gap between them is already extreme. Big. If there is no adventure, the final gap will only get bigger and bigger. Those who can break through to the innate realm before entering the main sect are the so-called seed disciples. When these people enter the Yuan sect, they will receive resources from all aspects to ensure that they can improve rapidly in a short period of time. How can ordinary people compare? This is also the biggest attraction of the main sect to the geniuses of the branch sects, so even if there are more branches, it is only a place to send talents to the main sect, and there will be no weak or strong branches. Ye Xiwen sighed with emotion. This is the one who has just arrived in the main sect. How powerful are those geniuses who have been cultivating in the main sect since childhood? I am afraid they are even more powerful than their branch sects. Thinking of this, Ye Xiwen had a feeling of enthusiasm, and constantly having powerful opponents was the fundamental driving force for his cultivation. But the first thing Ye Xiwen has to do now is to find the location of the people from the One Yuan sect in Qingfeng Mountain. Suddenly, a huge monster bird flew down from the sky, and a man with a national character was standing on it. The monster fell to the ground, and the man with a national character face said with a smile, "This junior brother should have just come to branch this year. Disciple." Exactly. Ye Xiwen nodded. Junior brother is really talented. At a young age, he is already a master of the innate realm, and he must be a seed disciple. The man with the face of the national character smiled and said, "My name is Shi Yi, and I am an inner disciple of the sect." It turned out to be senior brother Shi. Next, Ye Xiwen. Ye Xiwen said, he couldn't see the depth of Shi Yi at first glance, only to see that the breath on his body was completely round and unobstructed, completely natural, not like an ordinary innate realm at all. Master, but also mixed with the breath of the day after tomorrow. That is to say, Shi Yi is at least a top expert above the 5th level of innate, maybe he is still a core disciple. The core disciples of the main sect and the core disciples of Qingfeng Mountain are of course not the same thing, and they are not at the same level. This is the difference. Junior brother Yi, are you going to the sect? Shi Yi said, if so, Come up and I'll take you for a ride. Thank you so much, senior brother. I am a disciple of Qingfeng Mountain's One Yuan sect, and I don't know where they are now. I didn't come with them. Ye Xiwen said. I know this, everyone from the branch is here. Come up, I'll take you there. Shi Yi said. Thank you. Ye Xiwen jumped onto the back of the demon bird. Although Ye Xiwen had never ridden a demon bird before, he knew what to do. True Qi poured into the soles of his feet and was firmly attached to the demon bird's back. Go, Shi Yi shouted loudly, and the demon bird quickly fluttered its huge wings and flew into the clouds. Suddenly, Ye Xiwen only felt that the wind was blowing like a steel knife, but fortunately, Ye Xiwen protected him with infuriating energy. The whole body was covered, so I didn't feel anything. The speed of the demon bird was extremely fast, and it flew into the One Yuan sect in a short while, and entered the mountain range of the One Yuan sect. Ye Xiwen was even more emotional. One Yuanzong is really a master. Upon closer inspection, there are 10 mountain peaks rising into the sky, not knowing how many miles high. Above the main peak, countless palaces are like stars dotted above the mountain peaks. After Shi Yi's explanation, Ye Xiwen realized that these 10 incomparably huge main peaks represent the 10 branches of the current One Yuan sect, and they are the Taoism passed down by the 10 disciples who sat down with the ancestors of the One Yuan sect. The first of the 10 peaks is also the current one in power of the One Yuan sect, who holds the power of life and death from top to bottom in the One Yuan sect. At the same time, their strength is also unfathomable, and they are all more terrifying masters than true masters. As for the specific realm, this is not what Shi Yi can know. You must know that the masters of the true way can already be regarded as the true disciples in the One Yuan sect. Their strength is so terrifying that they can casually kill a group of congenital masters. Hundreds, and these first are the masters above the true way. One can imagine how powerful it is. In addition to the 10 chiefs and those true disciples, the most in the One Yuan sect are the inner disciples and core disciples. With the huge resources of the main sect of the One Yuan sect, most of the outer sect disciples can survive within a few years. The inner sect is promoted to the innate and becomes the inner sect disciple, so the inner sect has the most disciples. The Ye Yuan sect has less than 10,000 Chinese and outer sect disciples, but the inner sect has more than 50,000 disciples. The core disciples are slightly less, and the outer sect disciples the number is similar. Only then did Ye Xiwen have an intuitive understanding of the strength of the main sect of the One Yuan sect. When the disciples of other branch sects counted the innate disciples in units, the main sect was calculated in 10,000, and the difference was more than a little bit. It is impossible to describe the master as a cloud. It should be said that the master is like the sand of the Ganges. From Shi Yi's mouth, Ye Xiwen knew that the disciples of their branches had to pass the assessment before deciding which peak would receive them. There is no set number. If you perform well in the assessment, you may even be valued by the elders and be worshipped by the elders. The status will be completely different. There are even many people who are directly awarded the first seat because of their outstanding performance. There is no doubt that these people are peerless evildoers with extraordinary talent. The demon bird flew a stick of incense and approached the place where the disciples of the branch sect settled. Ask for votes for collections. Recommend a new book, fantasy, introducing the popular multi-tower elements. Writing and layout are not bad, very interesting. The title of the book is Duo to Shadow Demon Invincible Otherworld. You can read it if you have time. Chapter 77, Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuanzong is probably in this courtyard, and I will send you here. The demon bird closed its wings and landed on a mountain peak. This mountain peak is relatively remote, but the buildings above the mountain peak. There are also many. The disciples of the branch sects are also concentrated in several nearby mountains. Although they are a bit remote, there is nothing to do. The branch sect is like this. In the main sect, it also depends on the strength. Obviously, the strength of the people in the branch sect, far inferior to the disciples in the main sect. Thank you. Ye Xiwen climbed the steps from the foot of the mountain, and soon reached the halfway up the mountain, the courtyard where the Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuan sect lived. Before Ye Xiwen went up, he heard a loud noise. How can you do this? This is the place of our Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuan sect. Why do you want to occupy our place? Ye Xiwen could hear it. This voice was Qian Wanru, the leader of the core female disciples of the Qingfeng Mountain Wunyuan sect. Hey, why, just because there are so many of us, there are only a few of you, there are only 20 in total, why do you occupy so many courtyards? At first glance, you are from the countryside, this time our Shaoyang Yiyuanzong is full of people. There are more than 50 people, and it is reasonable for you to give us 2/3 of the courtyard. It doesn't make sense. Our ancestors of Qingfeng Mountain's Yuan dynasty lived here, why should we give it to you? I tell you, why is it that we are stronger than you? Said the arrogant voice. Ye Xiwen stepped up quickly, and soon saw a group of about 30 young people surrounded the courtyard where the Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuanzong was located. Shaoyang Wunyuan sect. The name made Ye Xiwen frown. This name is definitely not unfamiliar to Ye Xiwen, because the hostility between Shaoyang Yiyuanzong and Qingfengshan Yiyuanzong has been in the past for many years, since the time of the ancestors of the two branches. No one knows what is the reason, but after so many years, the grievances between the two sides have already surpassed the reasons of the ancestors. Among the crowd, the two sides facing each other, one is the people from Qingfeng Mountain. There are about 20 people, all of them are above the middle stage of the 9th level of the day after tomorrow, and the leaders are Zhang Yang, Qian Wanru and Wu Hao. Among them, Zhang Yang is already in the innate realm, and has transformed into the peak of true qi, and both Qian Wanru and Wu Hao have both reached the peak of the acquired 9th level. On the other side is the Shaoyang Wunyuan sect, headed by a young man with a sneer, who is also a congenital one, but his true qi has been transformed by as much as 20%, and his strength is even higher than that of publicity. The strength of the Qingfeng Mountain Wunyuan sect this year is indeed relatively poor. Huo Cheng, don't deceive people too much, Wu Hao said at this time. What about bullying you? The one called Yi Feng just now should be the most powerful of your disciples this year. He is completely vulnerable in front of me. I almost didn't give up my martial arts. Huo Cheng was a little proud smile. Ye Xiwen, who was behind the crowd, suddenly changed his face when he heard it. No wonder Yi Feng was not seen in the crowd, but he had already been injured. Ye Xiwen's expression changed suddenly. His relatives were his only fetters in this world. Someone who dared to touch his relatives was to touch his scales. Go away, Ye Xiwen shouted. Ye Xiwen's shout immediately caused a commotion among the disciples of the Wunyuan sect in Shaoyang, who turned around and looked at them with a sullen expression on his face. Ye Xiwen. When Zhang Yang saw Ye Xiwen, his face immediately lit up with joy. It's junior brother Yi. Junior brother Yi. The people of Qingfeng Mountain's Wunyuan sect immediately showed a surprised expression when they saw Ye Xiwen, and saw Ye Xiwen suddenly felt a sense of survival. Although there are two innate masters in the sect, Zhang Yang and Yi Feng, but they recognized it in their hearts. The number one expert is Ye Xiwen. After all, Ye Xiwen had already killed a congenital expert before. Although Lu Ji's strength at that time may not have been as strong as Zhang Yang and Yi Feng, who were now consolidating into 100% true qi, but Ye Xiwen was only in the acquired realm at that time, and he could kill Lu Ji in the later realm. What's more, Ye Xiwen also got the Shantian pill. Yi Feng and Zhang Yang have been promoted to innate masters one after another. They don't believe that Ye Xiwen will still be wandering in the acquired realm. Indeed, as they thought, in the past 2 months, Ye Xiwen's strength has developed by leaps and bounds. Completely consolidated the realm of the first level of the innate, the infuriating qi has completely transformed to the peak of 50%, and other martial arts have also broken through one by one, and the first level of hegemonic body art has finally been fully practiced to the peak, which makes his thin body. Containing the power of 19 flying dragons, it has reached the peak of the power of 50% innate infuriating energy, and can even compete with the masters of the third level innate, and he can't even cut him with ordinary weapons. Tianxianbu also finally practiced the innate part to the peak of entering the room, and the speed was nearly twice as fast as when he was promoted to innate just 2 months ago. He has also achieved a small success in restraining the breath. Even if he is standing beside a congenital expert, Ye Xiwen is confident that he will not be discovered and even can change his appearance. And the most important, Cold Moon Slash, has also officially cultivated to the third move, Full Moon Slash, and has also practiced to the point of entering the room. The only thing that made little progress was Panlong's palm. It was only the first style of dragon out of the abyss. Ye Xiwen could only master it to the point of entering a room. Even Xiaocheng couldn't do it. It can be said that Ye Xiwen has practiced in history the most difficult martial arts. Now Ye Xiwen really has the strength to compete with the masters of the innate third layer. Unless he has transformed 60% of his true energy, he will not be Ye Xiwen's opponent. However, with such a rapid increase in strength, the price is naturally very high. His originally abundant spiritual stones are once again in danger of being exhausted. After breaking through to the innate realm, the speed at which the spiritual stones are consumed is not multiplied, but it has increased in geometric multiples. Now, there are only 50 middle-grade spirit stones left in Ye Xiwen's storage ring. Although it looks a lot, it is not enough for innate masters, because for innate masters, low-grade spirit stones are not enough. Stones are simply not enough. Innate masters basically use mid-grade spirit stones. For Ye Xiwen, the same is true of course. In other words, Ye Xiwen has become a pauper again. The Q group of this book, 25,215,910, everyone is welcome to join. I heard the bad news today, even Wally went to write fantasy, the entertainment is really worthless. What a lot of bad news. Chapter 78, however, Ye Xiwen was also used to it. His special cultivation method destined him not to have any extra spiritual stones. Even if he had them temporarily, they would probably be exhausted in a short period of time. However, the crazy consumption of spirit stones made his fighting strength increase rapidly at a terrifying speed. The people from the One Yuan sect in Shaoyang also looked at Ye Xiwen a little strangely. They didn't know why the people from Qingfeng Mountain were overjoyed when they saw this young man. "Who are you?" Huo Cheng asked. "Yuanzong of Qingfeng Mountain, Ye Xiwen." Ye Xiwen said lightly, "Who hurt my brother?" "It's him, it's Huo Cheng. It's him." The disciples of Qingfeng Mountain's One Yuan sect pointed to Huo Cheng with excitement. "What happened to me?" Huo Cheng looked at Ye Xiwen disdainfully and said, "You are that Ye Feng's younger brother. That Ye Feng is just a fake name. I thought he had some strength, but the result is nothing more than that." Huo Cheng said lightly, "What kind of shit are you? You dare to come to our territory to be wild?" Ye Xiwen looked at Huo Cheng with a bad expression and said. At this time, the conflict between the two branch sects aroused the onlookers of many branch sect disciples who also lived nearby. Living on this mountain is not only the Qingfeng Mountain One Yuan sect and the Shaoyang One Yuan sect, but this one there are 10 disciples of the branch sect living on the mountain peak, and more than a dozen surrounding peaks are all for the disciples of the branch sect. Although it occupies more than a dozen peaks, it is only a very small place for the entire One Yuan sect. The real high-level members of the One Yuan sect, elders, true disciples, and others all have their own territory opened up by their own peaks. One Yuan sect is so big that it is hard to count. "How dare you scold me?" Huo Cheng roared with a face suddenly. "Scolding you? I'm going to hit you." Ye Xiwen sneered, took one step, and the fairy step flashed out in an instant, and came to Huo Cheng. "What kind of thing are you? Dare to come to us to be wild?" Ye Xiwen shot mercilessly, hitting Huo Cheng in the face with his big hand like a futon. Huo Cheng was still complacent just now, but when he suddenly saw Ye Xiwen's action, he couldn't dodge if he wanted to dodge. Ye Xiwen's speed was so fast that it was like a whirlwind, and he was photographed on his face in an instant. Bang! Ye Xiwen's big hand lined up on Huo Cheng's face. Huo Cheng screamed suddenly, and a few fleshy teeth flew out. Everyone was stunned watching this scene. They also knew Huo Cheng's strength. He was a master of the peak of the first level innate Qi who transformed 20% of his true energy. Even the strongest Ye Feng in Qingfeng Mountain was not him in the end, opponent. But this Ye Xiwen was really terrifying. With a slap, Huo Cheng couldn't even hide, so he received such a slap. Moreover, looking at Ye Xiwen's appearance, he simply did not exert his full strength. The disciples of the One Yuan sect in Shaoyang were all in a cold sweat, while the disciples of the One Yuan sect in Qingfeng Mountain cheered. Ye Xiwen's strength is indeed even more unfathomable. "You." Huo Cheng looked at Ye Xiwen in disbelief. "What are you?" Ye Xiwen slapped Huo Cheng again, and the momentum was like lightning. When Huo Cheng thought of resisting, it was too late. Ye Xiwen slapped Huo Cheng firmly on the other side of the face. Suddenly, a few teeth were knocked out. The difference in strength between the two sides is too great. Although Huo Cheng is already the leader of this class of disciples, at a young age, he is already at the peak of the first level innate, transforming 20% of the innate energy. It was miserable, but it happened to meet Ye Xiwen. I'll kill you. Huo Cheng was furious. He was trained as a genius since he was a child. He was already successful at a young age, and he was deeply concerned by countless people. When have you ever been so humiliated? His eyes were red, and his eyes were filled with dazzling light. He hated Ye Xiwen very much. If it wasn't for Ye Xiwen, how could he have been so humiliated in public? He never thought that if they hadn't used their power to bully others, they would not have encountered such a thing. Huo Cheng's long sword in his hand instantly waved a dazzling sword light, and instantly slashed towards Ye Xiwen with lightning speed. Although Huo Cheng was thrown 2 big slaps in front of Ye Xiwen without any strength to fight back, and he lost all face, but his strength is still very strong, and he is indeed a real genius. This time it was fully revealed. Ye Xiwen sneered. Ben Lei reached out and grabbed the sword instantly. Dang! With a huge sound like a symphony of gold and iron, Ye Xiwen actually firmly grasped Huo Cheng's sword. Bang! 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 Ye Xiwen squeezed it hard, and the long sword's body seemed to be made of clay, cutting into pieces for a short distance. The power of hegemony body art is not only reflected in strength. With Ye Xiwen's physical body, it is difficult for him to be hurt by any ordinary knife and gun. Ye Xiwen pinched it, and even the sword chi and the sword body were directly pinched. How is that possible? Huo Cheng couldn't believe that his sword was completely broken. Ye Xiwen sneered, and without waiting for Huo Cheng to react, he kicked out, like a blue dragon coming out of the abyss, and stepped on Huo Cheng's chest in an instant. Bang! Huo Cheng couldn't react at all. He didn't have time to dodge. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and his body flew upside down like a kite with a broken string, directly hitting several disciples of Xuanhuan sect. The terrifying force made them directly flew out and passed out. Get out of here, Ye Xiwen said coldly. Our Qingfeng Mountain Yiyuan sect is not a place where you can run wild. The disciples of the One Yuan sect in Shaoyang looked at Ye Xiwen in shock and anger, but did not dare to say anything. After all, Huo Cheng, the most powerful of them, was cleaned up like a dead dog. What else can the disciples say? Although they are also at the 9th level of the acquired heaven, and they are only 1 step away from the innate, but this step, the difference is like the heaven and the earth, which separates them from the elite disciples of the innate. At this time, the other branch disciples of the One Yuan sect were also talking about it. Who is he? How come I've never seen him before? It's amazing. That Huo Cheng is definitely not a weak person, but he was beaten like a dead dog and has no power to fight back. The second update is here, and there is a third update at 10. The Q group of this book, 25,215,910, everyone is welcome to join. Chapter 79 Father becomes Sect Master. I didn't expect that there is such a powerful person in the Qingfeng Mountain branch. Yeah, Qingfeng Mountain branch sect. In such a remote place, there are very few masters that are too powerful. I didn't expect that there would be such a level of masters. Tisk tisk, now it seems that there is a lot of excitement. Their core disciples have been cleaned up like a lost dog. How can the people of the Shaoyang branch just let it go? Yeah, I heard that the Shaoyang branch has also produced a powerful genius this time, and he actually has the strength close to several seed disciples. What is that person's name? My name is Wen Xiong. Yes, it is that Wen Xiong. In addition to those few seed disciples, he is also considered the number 1 in the ranking. Tisk tisk, I didn't expect that there are still people in the Qingfeng Mountain branch. Hee. What kind of strength he is, we will know it soon. I don't believe that he will not test the strength of the stone tablet. How will his strength be at that time? Isn't it obvious at a glance? Seeing the departure of the people from the Shaoyang branch, Ye Xiwen didn't stop there. After entering the inner courtyard, he asked, what the hell is going on? How could you be bullied by these bastards? Zhang Yang looked at Ye Xiwen, and there was some complexity in his eyes. Ye Xiwen became stronger. If Zhang Yang could still say that he could see some of Ye Xiwen's realm before, then he can't see Ye Xiwen's realm at all now. Originally, although Ye Xiwen was extremely powerful, and even killed a congenital master, his realm was only the realm of the 9th level of the acquired heaven. In order to transform into the publicity of 10% true Qi, he has reached the peak of the innate first layer, and his combat power is so high that it is difficult for him to estimate. And all of this happened in just a few months. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he probably wouldn't have believed that someone could actually do it. A few months ago, he also heard Yi Feng mention this younger brother, but he was only a martial artist of the acquired 3rd level realm, and he was not even qualified to be compared with their core disciples, but in just a few months, all this was changed. But anyway, as a disciple of the Qingfeng Mountain branch, the stronger Ye Xiwen is, the more glorious their Qingfeng Mountain branch will naturally be. It's not been a day or two that the people from the Shaoyang branch have not dealt with us. Every time they come to ask for trouble, this time they have to occupy our place because they have more capable people, which is really unreasonable. Zhang Yang said angrily. This is obviously the excuse of the Shaoyang branch sect. This mountain is so big, and there are not even 500 disciples of these branch sect disciples. I wasn't here before, and your brother had a dispute with them over this matter, and was injured by them. Zhang Yang explained. They, anyone else? Ye Xiwen asked. Yes, if it's Huo Cheng alone, your brother has already transformed 20% of his innate qi. Although it's not as good as Huo Cheng, it's not far away, and he has more than enough to protect himself. The first master this time, called Wen Xiong, is already a master of the congenital 2nd level. Your brother was severely injured by him, and was almost abolished by the villain Huo Cheng. When I came back, Wen Xiong had already go, this saved your brother. Zhang Yang explained the matter. What? Ye Xiwen didn't know that Yi Feng was almost abolished, otherwise, if he directly abolished that Huo Cheng, how could he be allowed to leave so easily? However, Yi Feng was able to transform 20% of the innate qi in such a short period of time, which is indeed very impressive. In just 3 months, not only did he break through to the innate realm, but he even transformed into 20% of the innate qi. The talent is excellent, not inferior to those of the top disciples, but the Qingfeng Mountain lineage is relatively late to issue the Shantian pill, unlike other branches. This time, it's all about cultivating some geniuses. In previous years, it was said that some innate masters occasionally appeared and they were already top-notch, but this year, innate masters were not considered top-notch. When the Qingfeng Mountain lineage found out the news, the disciples of the other branches had already been promoted to Shantian for several years. If they were promoted at the same time, with Yi Feng's talent, I am afraid that even the 2nd level Shantian would have already broken through. But it doesn't matter. Under the inclination of the abundant resources of the general sect, the advantages of the past few years are nothing but arrogance when he joined the general sect. He is a genius, and he is sure to stand out. When Ye Xiwen heard that Yi Feng had been injured and almost had his martial arts disabled, he immediately burst into anger. In a sense, ruining martial arts was more ruthless than killing him, and the Shaoyang branch was too deceiving. Who is the elder who came with the group this time? Why isn't there at this time? Ye Xiwen asked. Generally speaking, these branch sect disciples will definitely not come alone. They will send elders from the sect to come here. One is to protect them from accidents on the road, and the other is to protect them from being bullied in the main sect. Don't think that those inner sects and even core disciples are good talkers. If they are not careful, they will suffer losses. Respect for this strength. In this world, no one can cry when crying. Thirdly, it is also to build relationships for these disciples, and try to arrange for some powerful masters. Although it depends on the situation of the entry-level assessment, these connections are also useful to a large extent. Among the main sect there are also many high-level executives who came out of the branch, and these people are the biggest backers of these branches. The one who came with the group this time is the sect master. Zhang Yang said. How could it be the sect master? Ye Xiwen asked strangely, why would the sect master personally escort this time? It's not enough. Usually the sect master has to sit in the branch and cannot leave easily. Also, you left early, so you don't know that the sect master has already stepped down. Now the sect master of our Qingfeng Mountain branch sect is your father. Zhang Yang said. What? Ye Xiwen exclaimed in shock. He had only been away for 2 months, Yet such a big change had taken place. His father had actually become the suzerain. Although Ye Kongming was originally an elder, the elder and the sect master are not the same thing at all. The sect master of the branch sect is even comparable to the true disciple in terms of treatment, while the elder is far behind. A month ago, the sect master left his post, and this time I came to the sect with the group to report on the work. Zhang Yang explained. Where is the sect master now? Ye Xiwen asked. Chapter 80. Logically speaking, they should all be here to protect it. Why is this time, the most critical time, no one is there? If Lin Zontian was here at this time, how could such a thing happen, and Yi Feng would not be seriously injured? We don't know about this either. When the sect master just arrived, he was called. I heard that not only the sect master, but also the first-class elders of other branches were called away. Zhang Yang said, although this at that time, the suzerain of the branch sect had been replaced by Ye Kongming, but Zhang Yang had always been Lin Zontian as the suzerain since he was a child, so he couldn't change it, and no one would bother with such trivial matters. It seems that something happened to call them all away. As the group was talking, they had already entered Yi Feng's room. Ye Xiwen caught a glimpse of Yi Feng lying on the bed, his face was pale, and his breath was intermittent. Yi Rushui was taking care of Yi Feng. After not seeing Yi Rushui for 3 months, Yi Rushui's breath has also been firmly fixed at the level of the peak of the 9th level of the day after tomorrow, and it is only a short step away from breaking through to the innate realm, but with the Shantian pill left by Ye Xiwen, it is only a matter of time. The problem is, Ye Xiwen judged that Yi Rushui's strength has reached the peak of the acquired 9th level for some time, and it has been completely consolidated. It is estimated that within this month, she can begin to break through the innate realm. Big brother, second sister. Ye Xiwen strode in. Little brother, you're here. Yi Feng grinned when he saw Ye Xiwen coming in, and wanted to smile, but the injury was affected, and his face twitched. Little brother, you want to take revenge for the big brother, that Wen Xiang and Huo Cheng are so deceiving. Yi Rushui said angrily, and unconsciously changed her tone. Ye Xiwen also remembered that when he was young, he was often bullied because of his weak strength. Yi Feng always stood up for him, and Yi Rushui often stood up for him. Therefore, the relationship between the 3 brothers and sisters has always been extremely strong. Okay. Although they are not biological, they are much closer than ordinary siblings. Junior sister Yi, you didn't see it in the back room just now, that Huo Cheng has already been cleaned up by junior brother Yi, and he was beaten like a dead dog. Wu Hao replied for Ye Xiwen at this time. Really? Yi Rushui said in disbelief. Asking for help from her younger brother was due to her habit, and now the Qingfeng Mountain branch, Ye Xiwen is already recognized as the #1 master, Yi Feng is the second. Yi Feng can't beat Yi Feng, so naturally he wants Ye Xiwen shot. If he believed that Huo Cheng was defeated after a big battle, but according to Wu Hao, it would be to beat Huo Cheng like a dead dog, and seeing Ye Xiwen's indifferent appearance, it doesn't look like he just finished a fight. War. It's not that he doubts Ye Xiwen's strength, but he just thinks that Ye Xiwen can easily clean up Huo Cheng, which is incredible. Junior brother Wu must be right when he said that. Little brother, you are taking a breath for me. Yi Feng said with a grin. Get out of your anger, it's still early. Ye Xiwen said coldly, how could this matter be left like this? Ye Xiwen's words were full of murderous intent. It turned out that Ye Xiwen also hoped that the elders who led the group would come forward this time, but it seems that there is no need to count on it. However, when he heard that the elders of the Shaoyang branch had also left, he suddenly had an idea. It is better to ask for others. I didn't play about it today. Seeing Yi Feng lying on the bed and unable to move, Ye Xiwen was furious. How could he let it go easily? The people from the Shaoyang branch also saw it. There were no elders present at this time. Otherwise, as long as there was an elder, it would not be their turn to go wild. No matter how talented they are, no matter how bad the elders are, it is not something that their undeveloped disciples can deal with. Understand. As for the place they occupied, they would have to withdraw when the elders of Qingfeng Mountain came back. They didn't care about it at all, and they didn't come for the place at all. They were just looking for an excuse to provoke. Ye Xiwen took out bottles of medicinal pills from the storage ring. Many of these are medicinal pills in Luo Tian's storage ring. Although it is said that the spirit stone has been almost consumed by Ye Xiwen, there are still many medicinal pills and so on, but they have not been completely consumed. Clean. After letting Yi Feng take the medicine pill, his complexion immediately changed a lot. It shouldn't be a big problem. The body of a martial artist is very strong, not to mention that these medicine pills are also called panacea. It is estimated that he will recover in 2 or 3 days, and should be able to catch up with the entry examination later. Seeing that Yi Feng's situation had improved, Ye Xiwen breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Brother, watch me vent my anger for you. Today these bastards are bullying them. If we don't teach them a lesson, our Qingfeng Mountain Branch sect will become a sect in the future. Soft persimmon, anyone who sees it can pinch it." Ye Xiwen's words were taken seriously by everyone. In this world where strength is respected, the competition is very fierce, especially in the main sect. Only powerful people can gain respect. If the Qingfeng Mountain Branch did not respond to the provocation of the Shaoyang Branch at all, it would not be considered as a general knowledge but would only be considered as weakness. Then it becomes a soft persimmon in the eyes of others, and anyone who sees it will pinch it. In the face of future interests, I am afraid that everyone will come to fight the autumn wind. Ye Xiwen asked about the courtyard where the Shaoyang Branch sect was stationed, and immediately set off, followed by many disciples of the Qingfeng Mountain Branch sect. The Shaoyang Branch was destined to be not far from the residence of the Qingfeng Mountain Branch, and Ye Xiwen arrived in front of the Shaoyang Branch in a short while. Ye Xiwen stepped forward and shouted, "Wen Xiang, get out of here." Ye Xiwen's voice instantly spread throughout the entire courtyard with the infuriating energy, and even many nearby branch disciples rushed over after hearing the words. "Who are you, dare to come to our Shaoyang Branch sect to be wild?" A young warrior walked out, not the wave of disciples who went to the Qingfeng Mountain Branch sect, otherwise, why would he not know Ye Xiwen? "Go away," Ye Xiwen just said lightly. "You bastard, courting death." The disciple was instantly furious, and slammed towards Ye Xiwen, his fists twisted and blasted. Ye Xiwen stretched out a big hand and fanned out with a palm, and the spiritual energy condensed into an iron wall in Ye Xiwen's hand and slapped the disciple fiercely. Bang! The disciple was directly swept away, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and he was knocked unconscious, with no power to fight back. The movement outside immediately caught the attention of many disciples of the Shaoyang Branch in the courtyard group, and dozens of disciples jumped out and surrounded Ye Xiwen. The first update arrives: ask for collection, ask for recommendation, ask for reward.